cheers to episode 185 is what I have written down.
Go Lions.
Gatorade Zero Glacier Cherry.
That's disgusting. That might be the grossest flavor there is.
That's good. You have Glacier Cherry Gatorade?
Yep. Mine's powdered.
Guys,
Powdered.
Shut up.
Gross. Shut your mouth.
Shut up.
The front door.
Stop it. You're crazy.
Cut
I
it
like that
out.
hoodie.
Thanks,
I like
brand
that
new.
hoodie. I kind of want that.
I won this a couple weeks ago in a golf outing.
For a hole-in-one?
No, I just put enough raffle tickets into the same thing over and over again to make sure I would win.
So you bought it.
I basically did, yes. I got a lot of stuff.
You bought that hoodie.
Oh, I don't have my cup up here
You
anymore.
guys think of these Saints helmets?
I'd like
trash.
the gold better. Evan hates black uniforms.
Wow.
Just give me chrome Saints helmets. Not
Chrome to your dome.
Oh, Kamara's in, Grant. Don't worry.
Yep.
And he caught a
Monday night.
pass.
You're ahead of me. Stop.
First down. AK-41.
Move the chains. AK-41.
Well, that's him.
All right, this is what we got tonight. We got check-ins. We got Tigers ALDS, Kerry Bonds, winners and losers of the week, cookies and dookies, Michigan football, Michigan State football, Lions football. We also have top 10 rankings for both college football and NFL power rankings. I don't know if everyone has their list done. Oh, my God, Alex.
We've had 35 minutes waiting for you, so Evan and I did our list together.
I couldn't get my camera to turn on, so I'm glad you guys made productive use of that time.
Just for those listening, Grant's always late to the show, pretty
That's
much
not
every
true.
week.
That's
Around
not
the
true.
clock, never on time. It's usually just Evan and I sitting here for a good half hour before it's ready to go.
Not true.
I say it to Evan every single time, just the two of us are in here. I'm like, dude, this guy is never on time, ever.
That's PG version of what you actually call.
Yeah. You usually say something much worse.
Yeah, you definitely badmouthed me behind my back.
Excited to see you this week, though, Grant.
Hey, thanks. Oh, yes, it's LSU week. We're going to be in Baton Rouge, Death Valley, as the cool kids call it, for LSU Ole Miss, along with a friend of the show, Connor. 3 of us and Connor are embarking on a journey.
It'd be awesome.
I'm nervous because I don't think any of us know what we're getting ourselves into. Like, I think this is, well, Alex, you kind of live in the South, but
Kinda. What do you mean?
well, you live in Southwest. You don't live in like actual SEC country.
Well,
It's in
everyone
Texas.
Yeah,
am
Texas
around
schools are in SEC.
went.
they are now, but they are not. That's not their history.
Okay, but like everyone I went, like in Houston specifically, everyone either goes to Texas, Texas A&M, or LSU. Those are all SEC schools. I don't know if you're familiar.
So is Chicago to Michigan State as Houston is to LSU then?
There's a lot of LSU people here, yes.
Interesting.
Houston's a big place, though.
So you're going to fit anything.
I'm going to fit in. I'm from Michigan.
Yeah.
I didn't just not. I'm still from Michigan, Grant. Nothing changed.
Like when they're playing boozy badass in the tailgates, you're just
I
like,
have
yep.
heard a lot more boozy this year than I probably would have if I didn't move.
All right.
I have people at work that went to LSU that are giving me a list of bars.
Some recs?
And when to go.
Oh, timing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like certain bars for Friday, certain bars for Saturday.
Yes. We got some Friday bars. Okay.
Any karaoke.
Oh, Raheed Shaheed, you dirty boy. Oh my gosh. That's
Derek Carr says
85
he
yards.
told
Something.
you.
Where
That's
he just scored?
43.
Like
Yeah,
80.
43.
times 2.
85? What are you looking at?
Don't
It looked like a bomb,
say that,
Alex.
Grant.
Oh my god, it was a disgusting double pull. That looks like in high school right there.
Oh!
Evan,
This
you're
is
not
now a
playing
ball
Ricky.
game.
Versus Taco?
Nope, in my other league.
In my 6th league of 7.
He'll probably have two catches for 86 yards and a touchdown.
All right.
That's about the stat line.
Alex, you want to get into whatever you did this past week that might be notable, if there's anything?
Short week. Bounce back from Wednesday.
Yes. Couldn't have done
yeah.
much. You statistically could not have done much.
No, Thursday golf league, Friday nothing. Watched Michigan State. Saturday nothing.
You cleared
Sunday.
your calendar for MSU.
Well, I mean, yeah, I usually chill on
It was a
Fridays
joke,
anyways.
of course.
Sunday I was supposed to play golf, but one of the guys that was playing got sick, so we did not play. Yeah, that's it.
COVID?
Food poisoning from the night before, he claims. Maybe he got too drunk. I don't know.
Diarrhea. He was battling diarrhea.
So, yeah, nothing. I have nothing notable.
It's all right. Evan?
Let's see. Thursday, nothing. Friday, varsity football game. Race home.
Roll Tribe.
Michigan State game. Culver's, still the best fast food chain restaurant. Hands down.
Where'd you get it from?
Adrian?
There's a Culver's in Chelsea.
Mm.
It's on the way
Oh,
home.
yeah.
It was
Adrian.
GFC week. That's right.
Saturday, a friend's place. Just a bunch of just a good gathering of friends. A lot of food, a lot of good food, and then I just drank and watched football all day. Watched the Tigers as well.
Evan, it's sober October minus 3 days.
It's a dry January, brother.
Sorry, I'm not partaking. I will never partake.
Sober October of 28 of the 31 days. I committed to that.
Mine's going to be like 3 of the 31 days.
I was hungover October. You get as drunk as possible and feel bad
It's
as many
hog hunt
times as you
season,
can.
Alex.
You can't do that in October, Grant, because you drink a lot in November and December, too.
You do. You absolutely do. Consume
Like,
a
you
lot of
might drink
alcohol.
more in November and December.
But
I'm
you
gonna
only drink more in November and December in a 2-week span.
Yeah, but like that 2-week span, you go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, to be honest.
We're spending Christmas a full week in Auburn this year. I'm going to drink so much whiskey.
I have a bad headache. I can just feel it right now.
I
I
feel
can already,
wrong for you.
I can already
Drunk
feel my
uncle.
headache.
Drunk
On
Uncle
s-
By
Grant.
that 4th day, you're going to have to start drinking whiskey just so you are normal.
I can feel my Sunday morning 7 a.m. headache taking you guys to the airport.
I was looking up, I mean, I'm sure your friends have given you recommendations, but I was looking up some bars, even around the hotel, to see what they even look like on the outside. And there was a lot of like dollar shots or dollar mystery shot. I was like, oh my God, for sure we'll just get roped into being like, yeah, we're in Louisiana. Why not try the specialty?
I need to mention something I found out today about Texas. Did not know. You cannot buy, like, they don't sell non-beer and wine alcohol products anywhere besides liquor stores. So, like,
In
gas
Texas.
station, if you, like, went to the grocery store
They don't sell
and
any
wanted
liquor.
high noons, don't have them. You have to go to a liquor store to get high noons because they're vodka seltzers.
That's just like
Florida's like that. They have
That's
like
just like-
Publix connected to.
South Carolina's the same way.
Good news, Louisiana doesn't do that.
I looked that up today too. They have them everywhere.
That's how I found out that about the Texas thing. Because I went to the grocery store one day. I was looking for high noons, and they didn't have them. I was like, "That's super weird. It's a popular drink." Well, that's why.
God, we need to get all those people to come up here and just walk through every single store. And
Well, one of my
sells alcohol.
coworkers was in Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
He said he walked into a gas station, saw liquor, and was like blown away. Like, holy shit!
He bought all the bottles. He's supposed to be special.
Holy shit! They have liquor here. Yeah, buddy. That's how it goes.
Oh wait, sorry. You don't have a game in between because you did black. We have tomorrow night's your game. Oh wow.
Sunday didn't do much. I play tomorrow. So you guys will get the live in-person recap.
You think your team's a little worried that their coach has kind of a look-ahead spot? He's thinking about his trip to Louisiana, that he may not be dialed in.
I've
for the
only told a
game?
couple of people that I'm not going to be there on Thursday, so it's a lot. Like 99% of the team doesn't know.
That's good. Keep it secret.
I'll be honest; they should be more scared for the following week of me coming back. Just
Hungover.
You
These
shot
people
at
know
yourself.
an Evan
Yeah.
Cadmus hangover is, well, it lasts a while.
it does.
The last one, you had the eye thing and your head. I mean, it was really bad. So
That
I'm
was a
little
month
nervous.
sickness. I just got over it. I told myself I didn't need to go to the doctors. I'll get over it.
You should tell your assistant coaches, like, hey, I plan on coming back, but if I get offered a middle school gig in Louisiana, I might stay.
I don't think anybody in the world wants to live in Louisiana.
Really?
It's like a bottom 5 state in the
I don't think you should
country.
be saying this. I don't think anyone from Louisiana will see this, but like, I don't know if we should be openly saying
Saying
that before we go
I'm on
down
our way
there.
down there. Yes.
Maybe next week we can say it when we're
One of my
back.
friends here is from Louisiana, and he says it is like a dump.
Wow.
So outside of where we're going to be. So
Should we go find that forest from True Detective? The
Maybe Tom Segura wasn't
creepy
wrong.
forest.
I was told any street that has a president's name, don't go down.
Whoa.
Such a weird rule.
And there's certain areas that I've been told we should definitely not find our way to.
Okay.
Or we will have bad people asking us questions.
So, can you hit the gritty? Are you sturdy with it?
I think that would be a nice question. Should be fun, though.
I'll keep it quick. I didn't do a ton Friday. Again, cleared my schedule around the Michigan State game. Watched that. We'll get to that. Lost some money on that game. Saturday, watched middle school girls flag football. Well, not middle school. I guess they're like third grade flag football. Romeo. This is crazy. The town of Romeo has a full-on girls-only flag football league from grades like 3 to 6. That's super impressive to me because growing up in Tecumseh, there's nothing remotely close to that, and like not even co-ed. I don't think ours was just dudes.
I feel like there was a girl on our flag football team.
They're allowed to play. Well, the current flag football that's going on in Tecumseh is co-ed.
Oh,
I feel like when we were kids, there were girls that played. Not many.
I don't remember.
Maybe like one or two, but like I feel like there was.
Yeah, this was just straight all girls, and they had enough. They had like multiple teams per age group, which was impressive to me. And then went to Blake's Cider Mill. Not sure if you guys have ever been there.
Heard of it. I think I've seen it on a
cup. It's a little north. Yes, they have like that triple jam, one that Blake's hard cider. They're very popular even across the United States. It is quite the operation. It is like bigger than any cider mill I've ever been to, but it also was busier than every cider mill I've been to.
John's?
Yeah.
Okay, what type of cinnamon sugar donuts do they have? They have powder or the crystal hard stuff?
Performance.
Crystal.
Yes.
They were very good. They were really good beer too. They had like 15 different beers or ciders to choose from. I had the light beer, the $1.40 they called it. Very tasty. The problem was your wait 35 to 40 minutes for a beer in the lines they had. It was nuts. But the Tigers game was on the TV, so we just watched that while we waited. But it was nuts.
Well, that's unfortunate you had to watch that.
True, it was over. I was actually streaming it at the flag football game, and it was over by the time we even left the flag football game. So it was 5-0 immediately. So that was pretty much it Sunday. I didn't do much of anything.
Exciting week for us.
Yeah. Saved it for sports. So let's hop into the Tigers. Game 1, we just kind of teased there. Huge today. Huge. Recency bias, I don't know, where does it rank in excitement that you had in a single moment of Tigers baseball?
Trying not to rank. That just seems premature. But Colby, friend of the podcast, said top 5 already. Greatest sports moments in his life, which made me a little worried about it.
But he also claimed that the Andy Ibanez double was also a top sports moment of his life, too.
Well, I have to remember that they're very young, so like they missed out on probably all the peak Tigers years, or maybe they were too young to like remember those.
But also, Colby didn't really get into sports, not a bad thing, until like really invested in sports until he was like older.
How does that work?
What did he do before then?
He didn't just grow up.
What was his life?
What does one do?
Well, ask him. He didn't like get into sports until he was like, I think like 6th or 7th grade.
What'd he do though?
I don't know. Ask those people.
By 3rd grade, I'm crying in my lawn when Michigan State loses.
Correct.
I mean,
my first memories are 03. I was 6 years old, I think, for the Pistons.
Yeah, I remember the Pistons.
That's pretty much it. I don't remember anything before 03, I would say.
What year was Braylon
the Red
Edwards
Wings,
mossing us
2002.
7 times?
That was 2005.
That was 5. Yep, I remember that as well.
Cried in my yard.
This is probably a
My
top.
dad forced us out of a party. Just took the kids and we left.
Picked you up over your shoulder.
Took us off.
They went in my front yard and threw the football to myself and cried like a little loser.
No wonder you guys hate him so much on Woodward Sports.
Well,
he's
I
an
was a
idiot,
kid,
but
it was
correct.
sad.
Also correct. Okay, probably top 5 Tigers playoff memory that I've been alive rooting for.
Yeah.
If you go Tigers playoffs, Delman Young's home run, Don Kelly's home run.
Don Kelly's flick of the wrist was definitely up there.
Maglio's home run's number 1.
Maglio's home run.
Probably one of Verlander's starts in the playoffs. But that one's probably right up there.
I mean, in
But
terms
it's
of
hard to okay, then you start doing nitpicking and everything. Like, it's hard to pick a game 2 over Verlander clinching a playoff series in Oakland.
Yeah. In Skubal, they interviewed him post game, and I remember him saying, "Well, technically, it's not a must win because we wouldn't have gone home." But it really, when we talk about it, it was a must win.
It was a must win. There's a chance that we don't get to see Skubal on the mound again.
But in
fairness, all those other games, we weren't watching it with our diehard friends. We weren't clinging to our phone waiting for all of us to blow up at the same time.
I got it first for the record. It was such a good moment.
Weren't we all together when Ortiz hit the grand slam?
I was at Cody's house.
We were at
Wilson's house.
Yep.
God, that was one of the worst moments ever. Yeah, it's probably top 5 Tigers moment, I would think.
Was that? I'm looking back at the history. In 2012, we had to play the Athletics in a game 5 at Oakland. I think Verlander started and we won 6-0.
Yeah,
the game started late.
But he also did that in 2013. We played at Oakland, won 3-0. That might have been it.
We just played the A's and the Yankees. It felt like every year
because the format, they didn't change the playoff at all. It was the same thing.
Yeah. But to your guys' point, I had a couple stats for this that I was bookmarking before. You can choose your own adventure. 2 of them were pretty nice. Let me get it pulled up here. That kind of speaks to, I don't know. It's like you watch a moment and you're like, that was awesome. That's historic. But then you see stats come out after, like, wow, that was even cooler than I realized, or more rare than I realized, because Kerry Carpenter is the 3rd player in Tigers history with a go-ahead home run in the 9th inning or later of a playoff game. Can you name the other 2 players?
Maglio Ordonez.
Correct.
Gibson.
Al Kaline, 1972. Not alive for.
So Gibson was on the Dodgers.
He also did against the Padres
for the
Tigers. Playoffs. Yeah, I guess I don't know what inning that was.
Anyways, yeah, it's interesting.
The hardest hit ball of his entire career, 110 miles an hour.
That's short career.
The hardest hit ball that Clase has ever given up in his career. I also learned how to say Clase today. Didn't know that's how you pronounced it.
I didn't even know what he looked like until that pitch, to be honest.
I didn't either. I didn't
know pretty sick when he came out of the bullpen. I was like,
calm and nice with it.
That's one way to put it. I definitely wasn't saying that.
But yeah, I mean, besides that, there was just a lot of clutch double plays by the Tigers and men left on base for us. It was very infuriating for a while. Parker Meadows, shout out to him for a great catch. Stephen Kwan, shout out to him for a great catch.
Well, the ball hit the ground. That's what I keep seeing on Twitter.
I was blinded by rage in the moment and bias.
I've watched it probably 10 times. I can't really tell. So if it's that hard for me to tell, whatever it was called, it's fine with me.
And that's how you get the JT was short. It's just like whatever it was on the field is what it's going to stay as, because it's kind of like choose your own adventure of what you see.
Second time you said choose your own adventure today. Who would have thought?
Really?
Yeah.
Take a shot, everyone, if you're listening at home.
Is that a new phrase for you?
Choose your own adventure. No.
Yeah, the only problem is that I had to watch this game at work on my laptop, and I did not have audio.
Oh.
So when they hit the bomb, I just reacted to that looked like a bomb, and he bat flipped, so I just put my hands up in the air.
Did he ever bat flip?
Oh, wow. And then I told Evan when we were in our 30-minute waiting period, I've probably watched that video like 20, 25 times now. And just keep
all
watching.
The angles too that come out, like
anything else I can see, I'll watch it.
The helmet coming off as he rounded first was so cool. I don't know why that made it cool with the headband.
It was just an awesome
baseball.
Play.
Evan said.
Hottest student baseball.
Not sure how that got started, but I feel like it's true.
It's a great moment.
If you like the clean shaven look, if not, maybe you're a Matt Vierling guy.
Great moment.
You missed Alex with no audio. Brian Anderson calls Jeff Francoeur Frenchie about 1,000 times.
Well, I watched
single baseball game.
So, and then Francoeur doesn't call Brian Anderson. He calls him BA the entire game.
I think everybody calls him BA.
I get that, but at one time you're going to call somebody
BA.
Brian just by slip of the tongue. No, not Frenchie. He's calling him BA.
Thanks, EC, for the insight.
Yeah.
GA? Anything?
No, Gilly. That's all I have.
It would be AG, Grant.
No,
the
because
opposite
you're
of yours.
Frenchie and you're Gilly, and then I like EC for Evan. I do. I think that makes sense. The three of those.
The BA and GA are like the same.
Okay, that's true. No, but yeah, I'm GA. You're Gilly.
I don't
Like
want to
Frenchie.
be Gilly.
Well, you get a different last name.
Get
I want to
married
be
and pick her last name.
Alex.
That's a great point, AG. I just can't take that seriously.
All right,
I feel
GA.
like baseball games are kind of hard to respect. It's just one moment. That's really it. I don't have any. Like I find it hard to talk about it as easy as we do football.
Yeah, we
Which
can't
is
just
really
keep
cool.
Like you
talking
should.
about it.
Skubal did. Yes. Oh, jeez. Don't get overshadowed. He shoved. He
Shoved.
really did. He
I love when
shoved.
people say that.
He shoved. He had that one inning that was three. When you strike out all three batters in an inning, the parts of it I did get to see. I was home
People
by
are
the
saying I ruined his no hitter.
eighth inning, I think.
People are saying that.
Why?
I don't believe in the no hitter jinx.
Oh,
Someone
God.
asked me. They're like, "How's the game going?" I was like, "Well, Skubal's got a no through 4." And then they're like, "Oh, dude, you blew it."
I mean,
Like,
there's
come
so
on.
many people across the country that say it as it's happening. I don't know if it's just your specific one. It is crazy. Our group chat has gotten the two big games we've won with the Andy Ibanez talk, and then Ryan said Kerry Carpenter like before the game even started or something.
Yeah.
They're talking about him. I know we talk about Torque every like
Do we want to talk
Time's
about
up.
Torque Suck?
Yeah,
Not really.
God, he's been
in a win. I don't really care.
The entire
I mean,
team sucked.
Makes
Yeah.
sure he
Just
plays
like
it
one
first. Torque doesn't
Really
have
had
a
a great
hit
day
though
to
in the
play.
postseason.
Well, we play good
You're gonna
defense.
need at least one Torque bomb in this postseason, Evan. You better find a way to get
Good thing,
might
we have
not.
another, good thing we have another series after this.
Maybe.
I couldn't even tell you like when I don't know. I don't know who's like hitting great in the postseason for us. I kind of just like live and die by it,
Nobody.
like if they just win or lose.
Whoa,
Can't
dude,
go.
Jake Rogers would like a word, Evan. He's been
He
hitting
had
the ball
tough at
well.
bat today. The one I saw, I
I
remember.
think
that.
probably
Oh,
Meadows
God.
probably has a good
Did
average.
he start our 2-out rally?
Yes, he did. Well, they gave him a
And he had the
fastball.
game
They were in a
winning-
sweet spot.
Game-winning RBI in Game 1 against the Astros. Jake Rogers clutch hit.
Won that game 3-1. We scored
Well, yeah,
in the
he's-
first, second inning.
That game-winning.
Bullshit.
Still true. Game-winning.
Let's see. Who's got a good average?
Mm.
Yeah, okay. Jake Rogers is batting 308.
Baltimore.
Veerling 267. Carpenter 250. Meadows 250.
Jake Rogers is their best hitter in the postseason.
By average, yes.
It feels good.
So,
Can someone explain OPS to me again? Now that we don't use batting
I know
average
the
anymore.
formula, but I don't like.
It's like batting average and I think on.
Like it was
base.
very easy with batting average. Like,
Oh,
oh,
it's-
you're hitting over 300,
It's
you're
two
really
thi-
good.
It's two things combined together.
It's on base percentage plus slugging, and slugging is like percentage of your hits that are like double, triples, home runs of all
I've
your
never
hits or something
understood
like that.
slugging. Well, I
Slugging's just like-
understand it.
It's just like your power. It's
All
like
your
power
hits besides
percentage.
singles, Alex.
Yes, no, that's fine. I understand what it is, but I don't understand is like what's considered good.
850 is like really good for OPS. If you're a 1, like 1.0, you're like playing
God.
all-star level.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 850 is like the 300 in a batting average.
700's pretty good too.
Like, what's the batting average equivalent? Since we're using new
All right.
things.
Average is 0.7 to 0.76. Matt Vaillant leads the Tigers in the postseason with 0.754. So he's on the higher end of average. 0.76 to 0.83 is above average. 0.83 to 0.89 is very good. And greater than 0.9 is great.
God. What's
Yeah.
Otani?
A million, 200,
A million.
2.05.
Is that even
His is
possible?
1.345.
What's Tatis's right now?
In the postseason, I don't know. Regular season, Otani was
Say,
1.036.
Tatis in the postseason's got to be 1 point.
Fernando
I love
Tatis.
One
He's
point
sick.
five. Oh, his career OPS in postseason is 1.528. So he just owns
Wow,
the playoffs.
dude rakes.
He should. If the Padres make it to the World Series, he will win MVP of the postseason. That's how good he's hitting right now.
And his career postseason OPS versus the Dodgers is 1.320. He just destroys the Dodgers. His postseason right now is 2.151. Because he has 3 home runs and 14 at-bats and 5 RBIs. His average is 643.
Christ.
He's just dialed in right now.
Dialed in is an understatement.
First inning, don't throw him a strike. You have to bounce the first 2.
Yeah, you should just walk him every time like they did. They walked Riley Green today. He got the intentional walk treatment. And then Kwan caught it. All right, so that's Tigers. We got probably more pitching chaos.
On Wednesday?
Hit the Kwan.
I wanted to text that too, but everyone was in a bad mood. Hit the Kwan. Rich homie Kwan.
Dude, you were right, Grant. He is a Tiger killer already. Through 2 games.
He had a nice hit in game 1. In the
started
first
the
inning.
game off with a double.
Yeah, and then had a sick catch. And then 6:08 on Thursday is the start time.
6:08
Eastern.
Connor lands at 5:15, so
it'll be 5:08 Central.
I know how it works, Grant. I live in Central Time.
Yes, you do, Gilly.
So it starts at 5:15 Central.
Yeah, just 5:08
or whatever. And Connor lands at 5:15. Evan.
How do they do the 08?
So then Grant will be what time you land?
Just tell Connor to Uber.
We went through this earlier today.
Evan, do you know how far the airport is from Baton Rouge?
No, I'm not saying we have to be in Baton Rouge. We can be in New Orleans somewhere, waiting for Grant.
If you guys go to Baton Rouge before we land, that's crazy.
No, we're not. We're not doing that. It's an hour away.
Putting miles on that thing.
That would be driving 2 hours in a 6-hour span.
After 3 p.m. though, if you want to get cozy in a hotel.
So we just find a bar somewhere in New Orleans. Check out.
New Orleans is 17 minutes from the airport.
Hell yeah.
Connor can Uber from there too.
Yes, from the airport to us, wherever we're at.
I'm gonna get to watch like 2 hours of the game.
That's a lot.
Ish.
It's like half.
I land at 4:50, then I take off at 6:51.
Oh, you have a connecting.
Oh yeah, I'm connecting to Atlanta.
Are you direct, Evan?
I'm direct, baby.
Is Atlanta going to be okay with the hurricane?
Yes.
Okay.
It's literally going
the
straight
ocean?
over. It's going straight over Florida and
To the
off
middle.
into the Atlantic Ocean. That's it.
We're on to Pookies and Dookies.
Yeah, we
and
are.
Dookies. A lot of content.
Winners, losers. Pookies, Dookies. I'll start.
Stop saying winners and losers. That's not what the segment is. And
I like to remind people
the
sometimes.
people like Pookies and Dookies
What
better
if
than
someone's
winners and losers.
turning in for the first time and they're like, oh,
They would
what is
get it.
that?
A Dookie is a and a Pookie is your hot
What
girlfriend.
do you love?
what do you love? All right, guy that we need to give love to that we didn't last week is Alex. Made a fair point about Travis Hunter being the best player in college football. Ashton Jeanty would like a word. He is
Yes.
fantastic.
My
So
number
I
one.
think those two have to be the top 2 best players in college football this year so far. Not the year of the quarterback.
Alex, who's more valuable to their team, Travis Hunter or him?
My Pookie is more valuable. Diego Pavia. Evan, he's the most valuable player in college
Alex, that's
football.
not my question. Alex, who's more valuable to their team, Ashton Jeanty or Travis Hunter?
Both equally valid.
No, you can't do this.
I think the right answer here is Jeanty because Shador Sanders is also on Colorado.
Thank
that
you.
helps.
Heisman Trophy winner right there on the blue turf.
Yeah, he's sick.
Well, be good.
He'll be a Lion.
Alex, okay, put it in gambling perspective. He was
I'm not gambling.
on DraftKings. He was minus 425 to score 2 touchdowns.
He was minus 4,000 to score 1, and he scored on the first play.
That's actually great. Minus 425 for 2 touchdowns. This is insane.
Yes.
Wow.
He has double the rushing yards Derrick Henry had in his Heisman year through this point.
Oh, I remember those graphics when Corum was going for it. Wow. He's really impressive then.
They put up a
Derrick
graphic
Henry
of
had
him
500 yards. Genty has like
Barry
over
Sanders.
1,000.
Berries.
His stats are absurd, like video
and
games.
yes.
Your other
Yeah.
Pookie, Alex, give him some shine.
Diego. Well, I've been on Diego for a while, so people should know that.
I didn't think he looked like that. When I saw him with his helmet off, I don't know what I thought he looked like.
He's
Alex,
so
but he also
Mexican.
lost. he lost this year though.
No, he looks like a kid
Can't
from
play
the Nelk,
defense, Evan.
from the Nelk Boys, like Steve Will Do It. You know that kid? He looks like
a
that
little
kid.
bit like that.
I was like, that's Steve Will Do It as quarterback.
Never forget, Diego Pavia walked into Auburn and thumped Evan's quarterback last year while he was on New Mexico State. Peyton Thorne.
I don't know if he was playing quarterback that game.
Didn't he start all of last year? He started every game for them.
Him, Evan.
He started
to cover for him.
He started the Iron Bowl.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, he was 15 of 20, 148 and a touchdown.
148 against New Mexico State?
And put 17 carries for 38 yards, 2.2 a pop. He lit it up.
Well, Diego walked into that place, smacked him around. So then this
Alabama.
Well, he can't play defense, Alex.
This preseason. So I have a friend at work that went to New Mexico State. Fun fact. So preseason, he's not like a huge college football fan. He likes the NFL. We had that debate this weekend in our group chat. But I was like, oh, you should pick a team. And he's like, I would pick New Mexico State, but our quarterback left. And then we looked up where Diego Pavia went, and then we looked up him buying a Vanderbilt jersey. So this has been a guy for a while. And I said him week 0 or 1 when I was home, Devin, on the golf course. And they were all like, who are you talking about? Diego Pavia.
Week 0.
And then Diego Pavia.
It was week 1 because it was the fantasy draft.
Beats mighty Alabama. You just can't write a better script for Mr. Diego. Great story.
They were showing graphics on the broadcast that they've never beaten was it top 5 team. Top 5 team?
Yeah. It's not really a football school. But Diego Pavia.
I mean,
imagine if he was Michigan's quarterback.
It'd be sick.
You guys would be pretty good.
I like the way he plays too. I like the grittiness. I like the options they run with him.
He models his entire game off of Johnny Manziel. Says he watches the Johnny Manziel beating Alabama game every single week.
No way.
Yeah.
I also love that they
we're number 2.
Vanderbilt. I love that they're true to Vanderbilt, where they lost to Georgia State earlier in the year. So like they've had the roller coasters that you expect from Vanderbilt, and they just pulled this like out of their ass. Like that makes it awesome.
Yeah.
Like they haven't been a wagon by any means. They had a good game against Virginia Tech, but then they lose to Georgia State. Like they're just full on. Should have
beat Missouri, but their kicker missed a 25-yard field goal.
Yeah.
So they're like pretty decent, but yeah, they're not that good. Diego, their offense is the way they play offense is very interesting. Just the ground and pound.
The most impressive thing to me was that they gave up the lead. Like, I don't know about you guys. I lost more money. There was this point in the third quarter, I think, where Alabama was -2.5. And they were down 9 or 11 at halftime. I was like, yeah, easy. They're going to win this game by at least a field goal. And they come back. They take the lead.
They did take the lead?
I think they came back and took the lead.
I don't feel like they did. I don't think they ever did.
Let me look at the box score. You might be right. They may have been down by 1, though. But they were like, they
got
there.
back within like a tie or 1. But I don't think they took the lead.
You might be right. But the point being, though, like we've seen this game 1,000 times where the good team starts slow. They had a defensive touchdown, Vanderbilt did. And then it's like, oh, Alabama's back. Like they end up winning by 10. But no, like Vanderbilt just like sacked up and got better after that point.
Diego.
It's crazy. No, you're right. Vanderbilt was up
football.
2, then up 9, then up 2, then up 5, then up 12, then up 5, and they won by 5.
Crazy.
They never gave it up. I also was just looking here at the series history. Alabama hasn't lost to Vanderbilt since 1984, September 29th, 1984.
Crazy also, though, in this new NIL landscape, like they were talking about it, Vanderbilt like dumped money into their NIL for football and basketball. And I guess it's working. Like they bought like 3 quarterbacks in the offseason. They have Nate Johnson from Utah.
Oh.
They bought him too. And Diego Pavia is probably the cheapest one, and he just won the job. And they're paying AJ Hoggard like $800,000. So Vanderbilt's got some cash all of a sudden. Not sure where it came from. Good for them, I guess, for finally winning a meaningful football game. First time in
SEC history that 2 top 5 teams lost to unranked opponents on the same day from the SEC Network stat. Tennessee obviously being the other team that lost to Arkansas.
That game I watched 3 minutes of, and it was the last.
Very interesting final score.
I was fully invested in that game.
Did you guys know Arkansas? Well, then you did, Evan. Did you know they lost their starting quarterback, Alex?
I did because one of my SEC people here said, "Why is Arkansas's quarterback not playing?" I was like, "I don't know. Just turned it on." But
Pookie or Dookie for you?
Off of that, I'll give 2. Dookie was Tennessee's offense because I had a lot of money on the line for that one. And then took Jetty. And then I'm going to say my Pookie is the service academies again, Army and Navy. Both 5-0 for like the first time since like the 1940s.
That's sick. That was also service academy crime, though, because they destroyed Air Force.
Yeah, that game started probably at like 10 a.m. though, local time.
Really? I didn't.
It was
even
at
think about
Colorado
that.
Springs, and the game kicked off at noon.
True. Yeah, Mountain Time. I was thinking like that was a classic Vegas line where it was 9.5 Air Force. And I'm like, do they know something the rest of us don't? Like Navy looks like an absolute wagon. Why it was like Air Force sucks. I was like 9.5. Like that makes you think they're going to keep it close. Service Academy game, they know how to stop the option. No, Navy just bulldozed them in that game.
What you should do right now, everybody's going to be on the Army Navy game, December or whatever it is. Bet the over because Navy is not a true triple option team anymore. Like they are willing to throw a little spread and throw the ball a lot more.
Who has a better passing attack, Navy or Michigan?
Probably Navy.
Probably Navy.
Navy's offense is better.
I have some crazy Michigan passing stats later in the show. They are
I love
nuts.
to hear them.
Tommy Schuster has more passing yards
than the whole team combined.
Than all of the quarterbacks individually. I don't know. I doubt all.
Well, yeah. That's not really fair.
Crazy. Schuster's throwing the ball like 11 times.
That's like an insult stat to both.
I got a
teams
Pookie
because that means he's been in a lot.
He hasn't been in that much.
Every game I watch, he's in.
I have a Pookie too.
I got a Pookie.
Get your Pookies out.
SMU Mustangs. Pookie. They're
Upset the Cardinals on the road.
That was crazy.
Jeff Brody has something to say.
And Louisville coming off of a tough loss to Notre Dame, you think they'd try to get right at home? I did. I bet it. I was like, yeah, they'll win by a touchdown.
Yeah, they have sick uniforms, SMU does. So
they do.
Shout out to Stanks.
EC?
My Pookie is Brother Boats guy Mago Gophers.
Yes.
Oh, Dookie, Lincoln Riley.
That line's stinky.
I love doing the Dookie reversal.
You do. You really do.
Well, it's the easiest way to get a Dookie out.
I didn't really watch any of that game.
I watched the last 48 seconds when I turned the Michigan game over to it.
I have another Dookie.
Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get to that.
The state of it.
We save for those.
Yes.
We save.
I'm saying the SEC conference for finding the schools for running onto the field.
Right.
Stupid.
But, yeah, no.
The scenes and the videos and the tweets and everything that we were getting from Vanderbilt, electric.
Talking about Tennessee schools, like when they did it at Volunteers.
They are walking the goalposts down Broadway.
That's so
Get
cool.
to the bridge and chuck it into the river.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
heard it was a far walk based on Josh Payne.
Like
he lives
an
out there.
hour long.
He said it's like the Cumberland River where they threw it. It's like a long way, or whatever river it was.
They walked like an hour
with a goalpost.
So awesome. And there's cops like just blocked off roads
students
down Broadway, like where all the bars are, and they didn't even care. They just like averted them, like walked around it still while holding it. So sweet.
There was some funny memes of like being like, imagine being bachelorette parties down there that don't know anything about sports. And they're like, what are those guys doing? Like,
they're trying to be on like their bus tours, and it's just blocked by a bunch of high school people carrying a goalpost.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been electric.
Speaking of fans that delivered, their team lost, let them down. But Cal, I saw some of the morning game day. That was electric atmosphere in Cal, and like they were waiting outside
I didn't watch any of
midnight.
They
were waiting outside at midnight, and it's a 6 a.m. start time there, local, and they were just packed to the gills with all their signs. And I don't know, we're not a politics show, but I don't know if you guys have seen the memes from Cal's fan base. Even when they played Auburn, they like have done so many memes about them being liberals and like turning SEC schools into liberals, and it's so funny about
Coke versus woke, Evan.
They put like a rainbow like over Auburn's field when they beat them, and there's all these like jokes they have. The first kid on game day, his sign said, "I thought this was a protest." Like they fully lean into their bit, and it's good. And they were very loud, so they were awesome.
And they blew the game.
Let them down though. Yeah,
Dookie.
That was insane. I watched the highlights the next morning.
I can't wait to say Miami Dookie because they are not good and they keep barely winning. It's true, Grant. You know it. And
good
one
teams
of
find
these
ways
guys,
to win.
They're going to lose. They're not very good. They have to lose. And remember, their coach had one of the worst fourth clock management moments in like the history of college football.
Yeah, but he won't do it again. He's learned from it.
Maybe and because
honestly,
of that moment, they're going to keep winning crazy games that they shouldn't win.
Honestly, his quarterback is such an alpha that he probably would tell his coach to if he tried to do that. Like he would just take a knee himself. Evan, be careful on the pen clicks.
Jesus Christ, Evan.
Stop.
That's what you sound like when you nag on people, Grant. Naggy librarian.
It's my job to, if I hear it repeating sounds,
Evan,
to do it.
You mind chilling on the pen clicks?
I have a Dookie Pookie combo that Evan's not going to love.
Hey, Dorn.
No, he's not even worth talking about anymore. Respectfully, that bit is dried up.
Wow.
That knife just cut so deep.
You know it's true, too. It's really like...
pulled it out of him.
Like
now you're going to bleed out, Evan. You're bleeding out. He took it out.
Missouri Tigers, they duked in
the
big boy pants.
Good. They suck.
And
I said it all along.
Guess what, Alex? No, not that. But our A&M Aggies, their schedule's clearing up, and they have one loss on the year.
College football playoff.
They're looking right. Alco's winning the big ones, Evan, right in front of your face.
It's not a big one.
That's a top 10 win. James Franklin would kill for that.
530.
530.
Good for him. I'm proud of him.
Also, do you guys know what A&M does? Like what their thing is?
The Midnight Scream.
Yeah. They do that?
A&M people like claim the thumbs up
with their rings.
They didn't invent the thumbs up.
No, they didn't invent the thumbs up, but like they claim like that is their like their thing. Like that's when you take your grad photo, you wear they all have rings. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen that.
Class rings
and a little thumbs up action. So when I was at the bar last week, I was just when A&M was beating Arkansas, I would just throw up the thumbs like I was an Aggie.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You would be a good Aggie. You kind of relate to them.
They're similar to Michigan State, but not in the sense that they have billions of dollars.
We did overpay for a coach.
Or you guys don't have like really creepy, weird traditions.
But our coach wasn't
they're
there
very culty. Very culty. A little creepy.
We just like playing Thunderstruck during our pregame entrance.
Simple. Yeah.
We don't do the Midnight Scream every week.
That's
every week.
Yeah.
If they shape up to play Texas in the last game of the year and it means something, that could be crazy.
That's a tradition coming back. Thanksgiving, Friday night. Or
there's actually a really...
Is it Friday night?
Yeah,
it used to be on Thanksgiving night, though.
You want to know what the get-in price was today? If you're talking about a stock market, the stock price is at its peak because they're both... A&M's only a one-loss team. It was a $2,000 get-in price for that game at Kyle Field.
One of my friends already has 2 tickets.
You might want to look into the resale value. Rest of mine are NFL. If you guys have any other college ones,
I had one more thing about A&M. They might actually be in the SEC championship.
That's okay, Evan, because that's on brand for you. I don't want you to have to reach for any. Do you have any, Alex?
NFL ones?
Yeah, or any others?
Yeah, Evan will appreciate this one. Dookie. The fact that anyone ever puts the Patriots and Dolphins on your TV. Oh my God. That game was actually like straight diarrhea. And I'm watching Red Zone.
The Browns
Sky Hansen just
game
kept putting that game on. He just kept putting it on. And I was like, I don't
Stevenson,
want to see this game. I don't want to see it.
I didn't know he was benched when I made that bet. And I almost kind of got nervous.
Browns Commanders wasn't that bad because Jaden Daniels is special.
You look up and the Browns have the ball, and you know they're not going to do anything with it.
Well, if Grant's Pookie's Jaden Daniels, Evan, you could easily say Dookie. Deshaun Watson's like the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Well, that's not like a hot take.
No, but
I think
he's
we
a
dookie
dookie.
3 weeks in a row. The Browns, they're just really dookie. And poor John Fanta. He keeps making videos every week and they're funny, but
Did anybody
team
see
is
Pat
getting
McAfee's
battled.
show today?
no. Did he do
The
something about
highlight
the
from
Browns?
that. Oh my God! There's a clip of Overreaction Monday, and then just bring up somebody's hashtag tweet from it, and somebody basically called Deshaun Watson Osama bin Laden.
Oh,
Well,
you don't want me compared to that.
They said Osama bin Watson needs to pay for the new stadium himself.
Osama bin Watson.
And the Guardians lost today, and a Kerry Bonds homer. Oh my gosh, dark times in the land.
It's pretty much always dark in Cleveland since LeBron
It's
left.
cloudy, like factually, it's just cloudy there by the Lake Erie.
Cleveland's ass.
They got the worst Great Lake by far. Not even close. Also, at Pookie, Evan, you might like this. You're a uniform guy. The Broncos throwback unis were
They were good.
tasty. They were
Good.
tasty.
I
Great
found out the
helmet.
Broncos are blue.
I
Interesting.
used to think they were purple.
Yeah. Now with the, when I saw the
remember that.
throwbacks, I was like, oh.
Orange
The
and
Tim Tebow-
purple.
The Tim Tebow era Broncos you thought were purple.
I thought they were purple and orange.
They look purple.
So what color did you think the
no,
Vikings
I
were?
thought they were genuinely purple.
That's right. I remember you saying no. I didn't know they were blue. I legit thought they were purple.
Like if anyone said anything otherwise, I'm like, what are you talking about? What was the question I had?
What were the
What color did you
Vikings
think
then?
the Vikings then?
I had some serious second, like I was doubting myself on Saturday night watching Washington. I was like, they're purple, right? They got to be purple. Then I started to try to convince myself they were blue. I was like, no, they can't be. They cannot be blue. They're purple. It was tough. So just to confirm, they are purple.
Washington, yes.
Yeah.
Huskies.
Yeah, so it's tough.
I'm just
That
picturing Alex
color is tough.
watching the Vikings. They're like, why do they call them the purple people eaters? It doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, no, the Vikings, they're like old uniforms back in the day were very purpley. It's easy to tell. The Adrian Peterson purple, that was tough for me.
Stripes, too many lines.
The current purple, the helmets, you can tell they're purple.
I'll give you my one Pookie for the NFL.
Okay.
I'm gonna butcher his name. Is it Ken or Kevin?
Well,
think
we
it's
don't
Ken.
know what Kevin.
Burkhart?
Ken Harlan.
Kevin Harlan.
Kevin Harlan. See, I knew it.
Doing the
Gotta
Bengals game.
He
you
did
have
the
to know his
Bengals.
name.
Ravens game, and I had that on audio during the quad box the entire game. He is fantastic at his job.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I forget what he said when Lamar did that crazy stiff arm play. His
Uh-huh.
call was so good.
It was.
He was going crazy.
He gets excited at the right moments, and he is actually excited to call the game. For some announcers, it's just could care less.
I saw a clip. Tom Brady's getting a little bit more excited too. He's making those who's the MSU analyst Strayhorn on
Dude
radio?
sucks.
Oh, God.
So
Still getting the leg. Okay, Tom Brady's not going full of that, but he's getting a little excited during the play. I kind of like to see. There was a clip.
Strayhorn just says what happens before George Blaha can spit it out fast enough.
Big got it. Dude, chill.
George hasn't even announced it's a touchdown MSU, and you already said it is.
You think George gets mad? He's like, God damn it!
Dude,
Stop
who's
taking
our-
my spotlight.
MSU basketball announcer Will Tiemann.
Will Tiemann.
That guy is so delayed. The crowd reacts to us hitting a three, and he'll be like, and he passes it to the corner. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I know. The play already happened. I can hear the crowd reacting.
He can't talk fast enough. He's
just slow.
seems like there's an audio delay, but dude, you're watching it live. All you have to do is speak. Literally, all you have to do is speak.
Yeah. And then he
We'll
says,
never get rid of him because he owns the radio company.
Oh, he's like a player coach.
He is.
I have a Will Tiemann t-shirt with his face on it
What?
You
I
need to
won
wear
it.
that.
at a Tomizo radio show when I was a kid. It's just Will Tiemann's face on it, like
How
cartoon
much do you
form.
love basketball?
I mean,
He's got
I do
great
love
hair.
basketball.
He's got really good hair.
He's always
Good for
walking around
Will.
with a black coffee. Always. I don't think that
That's
man drinks
awesome.
water.
How do you know that, Evan?
Every single time we sit behind the bench.
You ever ask for a sip?
No, I
Such
just
a
stare at that
weird
guy
guy.
and judge him.
Such
God,
a
this
weird
guy's so
guy.
bad at his job.
My last Dookies, Sean McDermott, clock management. Interesting strategy to throw the ball 3 times with like 20
I kind of
seconds
see
left
where
in the
he's
game
coming from.
No.
because they had timeouts.
You know, he runs the ball, gets stuffed. They're just going to call their timeouts.
Yeah, but at least you take more time.
What if he gets stuffed for a safety?
Or they don't have timeouts.
They called
would
the
be
timeout
better
with
for
1
them to
second
run.
left. All you had to do is waste 1 more second.
Yeah, it would have been better if they made the Texans use their timeouts. Then they wouldn't have had time to do their little 6-yard pass for a 59-yard Kaimi Fairbairn game-winning Quesarito fantasy football field goal.
Yeah, you'd probably like that one.
I think that sealed the deal for me, but yeah.
Might send you a Olave for Fairbairn after this game.
Yeah, no deal.
You can have young Oku for him. I'll take
Fairbairn probably averages more than Olave.
It's not true, and that's mean.
Oh, how much does
I do need help, though, because Nico Collins is week to week now, which is devastating. The best receiver in the league has gone down.
He's hurt. Jaime Fairbairn averages 12 a week.
That's pretty crazy. That's why we should get rid of kickers.
Olave averages 10.9. Jaime Fairbairn is better than Chris Olave. Wow. What a world.
I have 2 Dookies that involve our team, the Lions, even though somehow they didn't play.
The NFC North went undefeated this week on the bye week.
Thanks, Gilly. Yep, Lions lose the bye.
No problem, GA.
When your division goes undefeated, when you don't get to play, that hurts. And then also Dookie, Cody sent this as well. I saw it floating around Twitter before the Seahawks game. I thought there's no way that continues. But teams that face the Lions the week after that, Dookie to them because they keep getting blown out and oftentimes upset. Pookie to us for being in the black and blue division and just kind of bullying people.
We beat people down and then well, that just means that, now that we're a good team, people treat us as like, it's their Super Bowl. They got to get up for that game.
We show the other team's true weaknesses, and if you just run the ball down their throat, they're going to fumble.
Yeah, but not everyone can do that like we can.
The Giants ran the ball down the Seahawks' throat.
Yeah, that was stunning. I mean, looking back, if I would have followed that trend,
I didn't
just take Giants money line, and then you're good. Also, that's 2 of the weeks. But Jackson Smith and Jigba scored a disgusting touchdown late, garbage time to help me potentially beat Drew this week. And I didn't text him about it, but he had to be pissed off.
I full screened that game so I could watch Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker get a bunch of garbage fantasy points. Because at the time, I was sweating out okay, Ben's only really down 20 points going into Monday night. And then those 2 kind of kicked it up to 45, 50.
Last Pookie is personal for me.
Oh.
Just in the 4:00 slate, I always fall asleep in the first quarter of that. I don't know why, and it's just a great nap. So Pookie for me, every 4:00 slate nap if the Lions are not playing. It's great. I wake up at halftime.
Tell me you didn't parlay every single game having a defensive touchdown?
That's a psychotic bet that would never hit.
It did hit at 4:00.
Every game.
Every game has 1 defensive touchdown. Defense/special teams touchdown. It would have hit.
Well, that was probably one of the first times that's ever happened.
Patrick Surtain, 100-yard interception. Seahawks had a 100-yard fumble recovery. And Giants also had a blocked field goal for a touchdown. Packers, Rams, there was a pick 6. Rams had a pick 6.
Niners, Cardinals?
The 49ers, Cardinals had a blocked field goal return for a touchdown.
Well, that's crazy.
I tell you what, it is hard not to get back into the parlay game when I see all the ones that our friends hit sometimes. And I'm like, oh my God.
They're only showing you the winners, Grant.
I know.
Saturday night, Tennessee has to win by 6 points, -5.5. Put it down a little bit. Tennessee does that, I win $171. I was 9 for 10.
Would you bet $1?
I had a free bet from Monday night.
I was going to say,
Lions
if
Monday
you're
night.
10 going, even with all, yeah. Yeah, I just do singles, and it's been good for me, and it's been profitable most times, but I see those one-offs, I'm like, oh, I would just love to be in that spot one time. Just pulling for that hit. I have a new format I feel like might be easier for the top 10. What if we just have each person read their list down from 10 to 1 instead of doing like
That's
10,
what
10?
I would like to do.
You like to? I get confused what you guys say sometimes. I feel like
I'll
it's
go
cleaner
first.
if you let the one person go. All right, yeah.
I'll go
Be
first.
my guest, Alex.
10,
Top 10.
Clemson. 9, Tennessee. 8, Ole Miss. Bias. Put them in front of Tennessee just for this weekend.
Okay.
7, Georgia.
Wow. You forgot Georgia.
Not Georgia.
Make your adjustment. You go last time. Make your adjustments.
My philosophy here was that
How do you do this every time?
Stupid idiot.
undefeated teams have to get some credit. So that's why Georgia's 7.
It's a fair
So
stance.
then 2 undefeated teams, Miami, Penn State. 6, Miami, 5, Penn State.
Oh my God, I lost off my other team.
4, Alabama. Despite the loss, they still have the best win, in my opinion. So they get to be 4. 3, the Oregon Ducks, rounding into form just in time to play
They have-
Ohio State.
The best win last week versus MSU.
They have a good one, that's for sure. And they beat the Heisman Trophy winner. So some good, not terrible wins for Oregon. Ohio State, number 2.
Wow, you hate the Buckeyes.
They have rolled. They've looked the part. They've done their job. I sent the, what's that graph called?
How bad did we get beat?
How bad did we get beat? And they dominated Iowa.
They
They
do
were
it every
up.
week too.
They were up near the top on that list. Michigan State was like their closest real game. Good for the Spartans. And number 1, the Texas Longhorns. Reasoning being, I like their quarterback the most of those top 3 teams. So
Yeah.
Texas gets the
Is he
nod.
back fully? I haven't kept
Yeah,
up
he's
with
playing.
them.
He's playing. this
Okay,
week.
they've been playing garbage cans, so I haven't looked.
They didn't even play this week.
It's crazy how you watch a team for like 1 week dialed and you know everything about them, then you don't watch them for like 4 more weeks so they play a real opponent.
Damn it! Now I forgot who I wrote down because I erased over it.
It's okay, Evan. I'll rip through mine. Clemson 10, like Alex. A little different here. I did Ole Miss, then Tennessee,
Dumb.
just because I like Tennessee's defense better. I think that
You're about to
is,
see Ole Miss in person, dude.
It's all right. Top 10's fine with me. I don't want to have to get greedy.
LSU 11.
Here's where I get a little crazier. Penn State, I'll keep it 7. I go back and forth in my head, a mix of like what you deserve to be because you are undefeated, but also like I do factor in who I would think would be favored or beat one another on a neutral field. So I'm going to keep Penn State at 7 here. 6, Miami.
Yeah,
5,
top 10 soon.
Oregon. 5. 4, Georgia. 3, Alabama. They actually don't fall that much at all. 2, Ohio State. 1, Texas.
Yeah, only disagreement is that Alabama is above Oregon at this point. I feel like
They
not
played
fair.
like they play head up tomorrow. You like the Ducks?
I think it'd be a very good game. I think Oregon's legit in the trenches. I think they have problems just like every other team, though.
Yeah, I would have to see it. I don't know.
Vanderbilt can run the ball. Why can't Oregon run the ball on them?
Yeah,
That's true. Vanderbilt does have that unique option offense, though. That's a little bit different than what most teams run. And it's Pavia. I mean,
Oregon doesn't have they have weapons. But I mean, their tight ends are sick, but their receivers they probably don't have in Alabama. What's that kid's name?
Tez Johnson's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's not the freshman. Like that kid is absurd. Yeah, for Alabama.
All right, Evan, did you get things sorted out over there?
I did. I figured it out.
Penn State 11.
No, Penn State's 11, 12, 13. Penn State would be coming in at 14 on my list. Boise State, number 10.
Wow,
Only losses to Oregon by a couple points.
it's true.
Special teams.
Heisman Trophy winner on their team. Number 9, Kansas State.
You can't-
Is this list?
Shut your mouth. It's my list. I didn't judge your list.
I should have put the Hoosiers at number 10.
It's Kansas State just to prove you guys wrong when we're in the bar watching the game at night on
Iowa
Saturday.
State is undefeated, Evan.
My
They
Travis
would like to
Hunter
have a word.
jersey.
Iowa State is
Is
ranked
in the mail.
12th for me.
But Kansas State lost, didn't they?
Shut up.
They did to
Number
BYU
8.
by like 50.
Number 8 is Ole
What?
Miss.
Okay,
No, we're
7.
up high.
7 is Clemson.
Wow.
I put
That's high.
Clemson above Ole Miss solely because Clemson's loss is better than Ole Miss's loss.
Okay.
6 is Georgia. 5 is Bama. 4 is Miami. I felt like I just had to put them in because they're undefeated. Do I like them?
Penn State's 14?
Shut up. 3
Logic
is
not making sense.
3 is Oregon. 2 is Ohio State. 1 is Texas.
That we're in agreement on.
So what's the biggest? Oh, Evan kicked Tennessee out. He's like, "Get out of here! You lost to Arkansas."
Yep. You had no Tennessee, no
but he
Penn
forgave
State.
Bama. So you just have a soft spot for Bama. Because they beat Georgia. That's right.
They beat Georgia.
See your math.
They have the best win in the country.
Right.
Well, they beat Oklahoma. Good football team.
I don't think Oklahoma's that good. Their offense is
probably win this week. It's Texas.
All right. Well, we have all basically the top 5-ish teams.
I'm going to throw off your
composite ranking.
Yes, just based off of my 9 and 10.
If you don't have the team in the top 10, I count them as the 11th team. So even though you have 14 Penn State, they will be counted as number 11 in the algorithm.
Oh!
That's
way
how it
too
works.
high. Way too high.
If you're off the top 10, you can
Penn
slot
State's going to be in the top 10, Evan.
Alex, they don't have to be.
Alex,
I accidentally left off Alabama on my top 10 at the beginning of the season, and I gave them motivation to get up there. And they did.
And they lost to Vanderbilt.
He's calling his shot because Penn State will fall out of the top 10 after their loss to USC this week.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think
they'll give me nothing but happiness.
Nittany Cats are going to roll this week.
I would find a USC fan.
I like USC money line. Not even the spread. I don't even need the points. It's just how college football works. We learned this week that anybody can beat anybody.
Correct, but Penn State's not in a letdown spot.
If they're a cross-country, USC just got upset to Minnesota revenge spot.
Because USC sucks.
No, USC is a good football team. They're not a bad football team. They're not.
Are they?
They have the best quarterback in the game. That's always a boost.
Drew Aller's not terrible.
Do you think he's better than Miller Moss?
I don't think USC is very good. I don't think Michigan's very good. I don't think the middle of the Big Ten is very good, and I think that's what they are. I think Penn State is better and can run the ball.
Which is fine, but you're talking definitively about it.
I think Drew Aller
had a letdown.
I think Drew Aller is underrated. Yeah, like Evan's weird love for DJU, I'm starting to feel that way about Drew Aller because everyone dumps on the kid, and he's not that bad.
That's disgusting. They also haven't really played anybody.
You want to win money? Bet on Clemson every
single week. Beat Illinois.
Boom.
Handle.
They'll win you money.
Illinois is better than Michigan.
Yeah, we weren't talking about Michigan.
We were talking about USC, and USC is a Michigan opponent. That Michigan beat USC.
That was a terrible spot for them.
Okay. We'll find out.
Yeah, we get to watch it too. It'll be fun.
I might get in your face. I might be a Nittany Cats fan.
It's going to be aggressive Saturday in Baton Rouge. NFL power rankings. I don't know about you guys. This gross
was difficult. There's
towards the end.
Not very many good teams.
That's one takeaway.
NFL sucks.
Evan.
I'm not having that conversation today.
Evan, why don't we go reverse order? Why don't you do your top 10?
Perfect. Number 10, Seattle. Gross. Number 9.
That is gross.
Pittsburgh. One of the best defenses.
They can't be in my top.
Number 8, the Commies. Number 7, the Packers. 6, Captain Kirko.
Wow.
Number 5,
Falcons.
Number 5 is running back playing quarterback. Number 4 is Houston. 3 is your Detroit Lions. They're at 3 only because they have a loss. 2 is the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. And 1 is the current defending back-to-back Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. All right. All right, it's me then. 10, the Buccaneers. 9, the Falcons. Captain Kirko played an overtime thriller on Thursday night. 8, the Commies, as Evan said. 7, the Packers.
Wow, identical.
Only way we're different is I have 6, the Bills, and then I have our top 5 the exact same. I have Ravens, Texans, Lions, Vikings, Chiefs to round out the 5.
Bills in there.
Do you wish you did, or was that a mistake?
No, I just don't know
how
Josh Allen can throw the football with
his stat line was actually insane.
Terrible.
I didn't see it until after. Yeah, I did not see it until after the game. I had to double take. I thought it was a typo.
Well, the concussion protocol also just doesn't translate to anybody worth of value to a team. So if you're a quarter, he was knocked out cold.
Did that happen in that game? In
Yes.
the beginning?
No, at the end. He gets knocked out cold. They punt. Houston turns the ball over on second or third down. He only missed one play and just is seen on the sideline just running back onto the field.
Wow.
Just one play. And Trubisky just handed the ball off for 3 yards. But he was knocked out cold on the ground.
Scary.
Wasn't dead.
His body went limp. Not as bad as
knocked out.
Not as bad as the Panthers guy, but he was
Tommy Tremble. He went
Brisker.
Actually out.
I hope he's doing well right now. I hope he's able to talk and eat.
Yes.
I'll go top 10.
Top 10.
Number 10, 49ers. Can't quit them.
Gross.
You really can't, you piece of shit.
You can
They
quit
don't
on 'em.
deserve to be in your top 10 right now. They're 2 and 3.
I also am projecting, I still think they're good.
Yeah, projecting your feelings.
This year.
9 Falcons. 8
Captain Kirko.
Bills.
Mm.
7 Commanders.
You left the
Commies.
Steelers off this list.
I sure
So
did.
did I.
Wow, criminal.
Last night was gross.
Their
I'm
offense is
glad I didn't stay up to watch that
barf.
shit show.
Me too.
6 Packers, 5 Ravens, 4 Texans, 3 Vikings, 2 Lions, 1 Chiefs. I just like the Lions more than the Vikings.
It actually feels really
respect you
good
for
right
it.
now that we all have a for sure, without a doubt, top 3 team in the NFL right now.
I feel very, very safe saying we're at least a top 5 team in the NFL.
I absolutely can. Nobody in the world can argue that.
Top 3, yes, because. But if we were in the AFC, we'd be the 3rd team because I still don't think we'd beat the Ravens. I think they'd kill us.
I would still be worried about them. Now that they have Derrick Henry too, and he's still good, just running through people.
But maybe we
we'd
can
have
get
to try to
Baltimore in
defend
Ford
Lamar.
Field.
We're hosting the Super Bowl.
No, I'm not saying we're hosting the Super Bowl, but in a regular season game right now, if it was in Ford Field.
I could see people arguing the Texans are better than us, even though that would be dumb.
I think we'd beat up on them because we're just tougher.
I think we're going to beat them.
So this is an interesting. I'm looking at our list outside of Evan. Evan had the Falcons at 6. If you don't, but he had the Packers right behind them. So if you throw out that, Alex and I both had Evan right there as well. The top 3 teams in the NFC right now are in the NFC North, which is kind of shitty for us Lions fans that we have.
Do
to
you guys
deal
hear
with
what Tony Romo said after the game?
No,
You listened to Tony Romo.
I haven't listened to him a lot. No,
I was doing dual setup for the afternoon games, and I was listening to baseball.
I only watched Packers Rams. I had no interest in the other games
because Pete Alonso hitting a home run, and then Bryce Harper hitting a home run.
Anyways, Tony Romo after the game was like, "Yeah, Jim, I really, really like the Packers and the Vikings out of the NFC. I really like those 2 teams." And Jim was like, "Tony, don't forget about the Lions." Don't forget about the Lions, Tony.
He definitely forgot about the Lions.
And then he's like, "Oh, geez, the NFC North is just special, isn't it?" That's how that game broadcast ended.
It does kind of suck, though.
Oh, well, we have to listen to Tom Brady next week. Gross.
I'm excited to see a full game of him, though.
I'm not.
What do you mean? You guys are going to be in on an airplane?
No, I land at 2:30.
Oh,
yeah, we're 4 o'clock. We'll be home.
What time?
Alex, we're 4 o'clock.
What time am I dropping you off at the airport?
Michigan State, Michigan, or Lions?
Michigan.
You always pick them first.
Lions. Lost the bye week.
Lions, yes.
Let's do the Lions.
Lost the bye week.
Lost the bye week.
Let me set the stage.
I feel great. It's once again, here we are. Rinse and repeat. Cut it from last year.
Guarantees we're beating the Cowboys. Again.
It just rinse and repeat.
This year we have to.
I'm not saying we have to, but I would be extremely disappointed if we don't. We got screwed last year, but the Cowboys have one dude. He went off against us last year. Okay, so what? Okay, but the rest of the team doesn't do crap. They have no run game. They have no second weapons on their team.
Rico Dowdle, watch your mouth. He's on my work team. Just
Jake
They have no
Ferguson.
weapons.
Jake Ferguson's a solid player.
They are really not playing that good, and I don't know if Michael Parsons even played this past week.
He did not.
Wow, why?
High ankle sprain coming off of MetLife
Dude, he's
turf.
injured. What do you mean?
I just care about the top 5 edge rushers. With Hutch, I haven't seen his name on the list.
DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons are probably not playing against
Hey, Alex,
us.
let me ask you a question. How many sacks did Aiden Hutchinson have this week?
0. It's 0.
Kayvon Thibodeau had at least one.
Trayvon
Is
Walker
Hutch
had a
still-
game-winning
That's a good
sack
question.
and a strip sack.
Oh,
I did.
I mean,
First time I noticed him.
because he gets compared to a lot. Hutch kept his sack lead.
We're not doing Pookies right now.
I'm just saying he's still 6.5. No one
We're
caught
back
him on
on
bye week.
record.
yeah, because nobody in the Ravens and Bengals game wanted to play defense after the first 3 drives.
Back on
The
record.
way you
the
like it.
Cowboys
The
don't
way
play
you like
defense.
it.
That's why I was excited to watch that game. That was awesome.
No
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, probably. He might
That's
go,
huge.
but he won't be 100%.
The spread is Lions -3 over under 52.5, which is a shootout in NFL terms, which means they think the score will be 28 Detroit, 25 Dallas.
I don't see how Dallas scores 25 points against us. I'm sorry.
Over under though, I can help
I
you out
do.
get there.
A Derek Barnes armless tackle. That's how they
He's
do
not
it.
playing. He's not playing the rest of the
Yeah,
year.
I know he's out for the year, but
Brian
Over,
Branch is
under.
going to be back, right?
Should be. I hope he's sick last game. I hope he's rested up over the bye.
Patrick
Over under how many
Mahomes.
penalties from our defense on CeeDee Lamb?
6.
Line is set at 2.5. Would you go over that? I'll go over that.
Oh, I go under 2. We're gonna get 2.
I'll go
On him
over.
specifically. You
Are the
go
refs
3.
okay? Are the refs from the London game doing our game? Because if not, it'd be over 14.
I'm not sure.
That wasn't very good.
That was my London accent.
London,
I'm not sure.
English.
G. Willikers.
The Vikings moved down the field.
Gee
the entire,
Willikers? Why did you say it like that?
The tea and crumpets. I'm not sure what flags they'd be throwing.
Yeah, you could.
Bruv.
Remember
now
when
you're
we
going
thought
to
you
like
could
an
be an
Australian
actor?
accent.
We thought you could be an actor? No, this is why you couldn't. Your accent's terrible.
What do you mean, bruv?
This shit. It's terrible.
I think the Lions stomp the Cowboys. I think it's a
Burn.
like we can talk about the meathead persona, but I do think Dan Campbell is that type of guy. It's like he has circled this game on his calendar since last year.
Payback
And
from the NFL.
Texas
Ben
A&M Aggie.
Ben Johnson's a psychopath as well. And I just think they are going to have everything. The whole team probably wants to destroy. Aiden Hutchinson, I feel like, has talked on record last year about how he like dreams about playing Dallas again. I just think.
Did you see what
he might-
JMO said after the game? When he got a game ball and he said a speech?
Let's get Dallas or something.
Yeah, something about like Dallas. Like no one likes Dallas.
I don't think he said F Dallas. Let's not give him bulletin board
Well, he
material, but
probably said something
something.
worse.
He was already looking past the bye. He was ready to play Dallas the next day.
Yeah, because no one likes Dallas.
And
Yeah,
I
they're
think
gonna
we
be-
stomp them, and we just can. Well, and Dallas is off a win on a short week. I think we're coming in fully loaded.
Extra short.
Could be a slow start though. That could be a bye week type deal.
I
or
think it's
not.
going to be the same as when we went to Lambeau and just got off to a massive lead and just
Or the
spanked
Saints.
Packers around.
The Saints game,
Nah.
but then we gave it back.
Saints are the Cowboys are a little better than that Saints team last year.
Are they?
I don't know if they are.
I don't know if they are.
Yeah, I think they are. Still have good players.
It's too early to do a victory lap, but I was thinking the other week when we did our worst to first debate, and I said the Commanders might finish first in the NFC East. I've been keeping notes of that because Alex said I was an idiot.
I think we said that was the most likely situation of anybody.
I think Alex poo-pooed it. He said the
I think
Cowboys are
Alex
still good.
shit on us for that.
I said the
And we're not taking
Eagles.
victory laps yet.
I said
We're
the
not taking
Eagles
victory
would
laps.
win the NFC East for one, and for two, I think I agreed Commanders because there was no one else logical in the NFC. Cardinals,
Yes.
maybe,
They're 2
but
and 3.
no,
Bears are 3-2.
That's disgusting. They need to play
they
a real
played
team.
no one.
But that's the perks of being the worst team in the
DeAndre
division.
Swift looks sick when there's no one around to tackle.
Predictions for this game, I think we drop another 30 bomb, and I think they score 17 points.
Oh.
30-17 to under cashes.
Grant.
Was that your score?
Nope. In my head, I have 33-16.
Oh,
35-20.
5 touchdowns? My God.
Yeah.
Who are they going to go to? Tuttle Laporta?
No.
One's got to go to Monra for sure.
5 to Gibbs.
5 to Gibbs.
Not even on your fantasy team.
The
I have him on one of my leagues, yes.
You can't afford Jameer Gibbs. I can see the text now.
If I play, I don't play Koo next week, so Gibbs 5.
Yeah,
you have Amon Ra?
Yep.
Amon Ra 5. I think I play you.
No, you don't.
If
I play McCray.
It feels disrespectful that we just look at this game, though, and we're just like, yeah, I think our team's going to win. We're sick. Like, it just doesn't feel right, but that's truly how I feel.
We did that last year, pretty much every week.
But not to look at the 20th at Minnesota. That is a massive game.
What's our game after Dallas? Tennessee?
Minnesota.
No. Minnesota.
Oh.
Minnesota.
What are you talking about?
Minnesota!
Minnesota! On the road at Minnesota.
Can't wait to use that Joe Byron clip that week.
Minnesota!
3 of our next 4.
What was that one else?
4 of our next 5, Alex, are on the road. 4 of our next 5 are on the
Joe
road.
Biden.
I'm Joe Biden. Minnesota!
Okay, but if we're looking ahead, Grant, based off of our power
It's
rankings.
dangerous to do.
Cut.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 of our next 5 games are on the road.
Yeah.
And
against
play some
3 of them
teams.
are against
top
5
6
teams. Vikings,
Well,
Packers, Texans.
Oh, right. Packers.
Yeah, Evan, listen, bud. This is the NFL.
Okay, pal. Yeah, what the fuck you want to say to me?
Hey, EC.
We're gonna hey, listen, EC. We're gonna listen football games this year. We're not gonna go undefeated.
I'm not. We already lost one. It doesn't matter. Don't have to call me Bud, pal.
Yeah, listen here, Lethal.
Hey, Bucko.
Quit looking ahead. Let's enjoy the moment. Enjoy the present. Enjoy Dallas this weekend.
My parents live in Ohio. I live in the present.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yes,
That's from How I Met Your Mother.
It's Ted Mosby.
Yeah.
Oh,
At
man.
the college party.
But it just really does apply to. It does apply to. Grant.
I just
but it's
rewatched
so
that
funny.
whole show and I forgot. I
It
don't
doesn't
even
bother
remember
me. You probably did think I was talking about myself, Alex. It's
I did.
Ted Mosby.
that.
No.
I was like, you're such a loser. That is something you would say.
Oh, Gilly. That's just
that's good,
Oh.
GA.
Gilly.
Michigan State or Michigan.
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Michigan State with a
State.
tough one on the road. EC, your thoughts?
Friday night. Once again, turnovers and not being able to stop the run, but it's a different type of run scheme from the Oregon Ducks. I think Oregon took whatever Ohio State did, so we're just going to do exactly that. We don't have enough speed we don't have enough speed on our defense to be able to run sideline to sideline with Oregon's run game.
I saw some interesting things on our defensive scheme this week. Evan, you're a football guy. You can tell me if it's wrong. But we were playing very scared of getting beat over the top, so we had less men in the box to stop the run.
Nice safeties.
And so they saw that, and they were just like, oh, yeah, we'll run the ball every play, and that's what they did. Dookie, because we couldn't mention Michigan State people in Pookies and Dookies. Cal Halliday is really not good at football.
Good against power run teams, not against.
He's good against
teams.
slow teams. Yes. He was horrendous. And then I started player watching, which is never good, and it got really bad. Like every single play was like Cal Halliday. Cal Halliday is the reason they got 7 yards and not 3. It was like that bad every single time. Jordan Hall was sick or injured or something, didn't play.
It's pretty.
Needed him that game.
Once again, it's a lot of like positive yards, and then sack, boom, negative play. We're never coming back from a first or second in 25 seconds, 17.
Yep, O-line's not
If
good.
the team gets sacked, you might as well chalk it up like this. You will not get a first down.
O-line is very bad. I think Oregon's D-line's very good. Offensive line, though, it's like there's a linebacker in the backfield when we're handing the ball off half the time, and they're just getting annihilated. And then Childs is running around for his life every single play. He's very athletic, so he sometimes makes us think that our offensive line is better than it is, but really he's just sprinting around. positive-wise, Childs didn't force any interceptions. So he's learning to tuck and throw it away and get sacked 50 times. Negative, he fumbled again, but I don't know. This game wasn't all on Childs for once. That's good. But I don't feel like it wasn't
also,
his
the
fault.
thing is, like Michigan State fans, yes, it is frustrating. You want your team to win every single game. But going into the season, you knew you were going to lose back-to-back games against Ohio State and Oregon.
Big Ten schedule makers really were like, that was not nice. Not nice what they did. Ohio State, and then you get a short turnaround, go to the West Coast and play the second best team in the Big Ten. Not fair. Super. Like, no one probably this year, other than I think we talked about it, like Florida maybe has a tougher 2-game stretch. Terrible 2-game stretch, especially for a team with a young quarterback, a new coach, and 63 new players. Could not be a worse situation.
Well said.
Grant, I have a question.
Okay.
Michigan State plays Indiana's schedule. What's their record at the current moment? 6 games.
Stand by.
Charlotte, Western Illinois,
UCLA,
Maryland, and Northwestern.
Maryland.
I'm missing
Northwestern.
whoever they played in the first game.
FIU.
FIU.
5-1
Who do they lose to?
Oh my God.
at UCLA.
That's not nice.
I think
UCLA sucks.
They played LSU good. They covered against Penn State. You would have been your first road trip across the country. I could see you losing that game by 3 points. All right.
Fine.
If Michigan State played their worst game or like one of the heavy turnover games, they could lose to UCLA. But 5-1, I would say you beat the other teams, which I think is a good compliment.
Which just shows, like, if our schedule was put in a different order, we're talking about Michigan State right now as a ranked football team and good if we had Indiana's schedule. Instead, our fan base is talking about how it's a disaster. The season's falling apart. Aiden Childs stinks. Blah, blah, blah. Why me? Cry about everything. And I just wish that, people put it in perspective that there's really good teams in the Big Ten that we've already played. And then there's a lot of bad teams in the Big Ten that we haven't played yet. And that's when we'll find out what this team actually is. You're never going to beat Ohio State and Oregon this year. Evan and I have already said it 1,000 times.
We just didn't give up 50 points to both teams, which I'm happy about.
Covered. Late, disgusting field goal to cover.
Yeah, that was if I was an Oregon better, I'd be so pissed that there's just no business. I watched every single snap of this game. I did zone out at times, and I kept looking up, and I would just see Childs like running around getting sacked. I'm like, God. But I do see, again, I disagree with them. So let me just say that. I disagree with the people that I'm talking about here. But as someone who bet on Michigan State, and it wasn't a gimmick, I do like, though, there is part of my sick brain. I like getting in the foxhole with you guys because I can feel like I can bitch about the team because I'm betting on them. Like, I am fully invested. Like, I did think that Childs was going to play well. I thought Marsh would have a good game. I thought you guys would score 20 points, not 10.
Ooh. I think Oregon's defense pretty
and
good.
that first drive happens, and I am like, "Oh my God!" Like it's happening.
Yeah, that's the same thing against Ohio State.
I
ball
know.
up and down Ohio State.
And again, I didn't see the beginning of the Ohio State game, so this was my first taste being invested, like financially. Like Nick Marsh almost scored on that play. I had Nick Marsh anytime. I had Aiden Childs anytime with the rushing touchdown. So then I thought, "Oh my God, he's going to run it in on a 2 and he fumbles." And I'm like, "Wow, this is annoying." And I can see how, as if I was a diehard fan, I'd be like, I am sick of this. I wouldn't be calling for Schuster, but I'd be like, this actually really sucks, and I'm pissed off because it's like, now that I lived it, I was like, this is BS.
Yeah. I think it's fair to be upset about like when turnovers happen, but I think if you just watch any college, like Dylan Gabriel has played 70,000 football games in college and threw 2 picks.
2 interceptions against Michigan State.
Yeah.
In
Both
the red
in the red
zone.
zone.
In the end zone.
Yeah.
So kids
Alex, your
and
tweet that you
quarterbacks
sent to our
are
group.
always. Which one?
Nick Saban says Aiden Childs has a tremendous upside, but Michigan
But
State.
Twitter tells me he sucks and Tommy Schuster should be quarterback. You're right.
Who should I listen to?
Yeah. Yeah, that's another good point. Nick Saban on College Game Day on Saturday says that,
They did. I saw that line. I was like,
Childs
hyping
full
up
of
Aiden
potential.
Childs.
Yeah, I think people just need to relax and give it time.
That's coming from a coach that would be like, yeah, I would like that guy on my team.
Not any coach, by the way. Not any
Greatest
coach.
college football coach of all time.
He really did, though. He just like slipped into coach speak, and he's just like, tremendous upside, just has to clean up the turnover worthy plays. It's like, yeah, thanks, Nick. We've been watching 6 weeks of it.
But Grant, to your point, like, I think just a massive oversight by all of us not realize Oregon's secondary is really good. The best that we've seen, probably better than Ohio State's. They have
I was surprised by. I thought they'd
true
be like
lockdown. Their D line is like the most expensive D line NIL wise in college football, including our D tackle, which hurts.
They're starting to round into form for sure.
I think they're like everyone was like, oh, they sucked the first couple weeks, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're pretty good. I think it was fair to say all the things we did preseason about them. I think there's no reason they shouldn't be good. They have every piece, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, their
100%.
tight end, sick.
That running back was sick. I didn't know they had. I didn't know he was that good. He looked awesome. Jordan James.
They made it seem like he wasn't going to be that good, and he was definitely good. Cal Halliday is also really bad, so that helps.
Can confirm that Lynch Adams does continue to need more snaps because he just looks like a different runner.
Nate Carter's just slow getting into like the hole. It's just like he's like slow motion. He's like stuck in
Lynch
the mud.
Adams, he just breaks tackles more. I was watching back some of the Ohio State game. He was like dragging players across the first down line.
I mean, the real issue of Michigan State's football team is that their offensive line is not good.
Yep.
Their defense is okay. It's like good enough. Like we can hang in games for a while. We can make plays when we need to, but
there's just so many big, like corn-fed dudes that are 3-stars in the Midwest that I feel like Jonathan Smith has to get that figured out as he settles in. Like I think it will. It's just like there's so many guys to choose from in our area of the country.
You got to remember, like 4 of our offensive linemen hit the portal in the spring, so we're just trying to figure it out on the fly. We've already lost 3 to like injury for the whole year.
Felt like maybe I was wrong.
We're playing true freshmen.
Felt like Mel Tucker overlooked the offensive line, unless he didn't. Maybe he had good recruits coming in.
Well, he had Vandemark. He went to Alabama. Spencer Brown went to Oklahoma.
Starting right guard broke his leg.
Starting right guard broke his leg. Backup broke his leg. But yeah, I mean, we're playing true freshmen. Like there was one play we gave up a sack, and it was a true freshman left tackle, and you were like, "Oh yeah, that kid looks like a true freshman." He was like 100 pounds. I was like, "This can't go well."
Question for you, Alex, based on earlier shows, do you feel saddened by the fact that neither of these games were like one-ish score, 1-2 possession in the third quarter like you had hoped they were?
Sad? No. I mean, deep down you knew that was probably the likeliest outcome. Sure had more hope this year.
You felt pretty confident at one point. Like you're like, they're going to do it. They're going to be like 7 points down in the third quarter.
I mean, they should have been against Ohio State. So I can at least look back at that game and be like, they themselves over out of that, but they should have easily been in that game in the third. Oregon, they looked a little more outmatched than Ohio State, which I guess is fair to be expected on short rest out in the West Coast in a tough environment.
And they just got banged up by Ohio State the week before.
Yeah, it's a brutal schedule. It's just a tough break of how everything went. I don't feel any worse about this team than I did preseason.
You get the bye week. We're not going to preview that game, but you guys still feel confident about beating Iowa at home on homecoming NBC as you did to start the year?
7:30 primetime, yes. Still feel confident.
I feel confident that it's a 50-50 game and that they have a good chance of winning, yes. I don't think I've ever said for a fact that we're going to beat Iowa as emphatic as Evan has said it, but I expect them to be.
Evan's been on that for a long time.
I expect them to be in 50-50 games like the rest of the way and kill Purdue.
That'll be a really good test of Child's maturity, at least in my mind. I know he's still in the middle of year 1, but by the back half, they always say, oh, they're not rookies anymore. Like they got to grow up at some point. bye week, it's time to collect himself, work on the offense. But then you host at home one of the most like turnover happy defenses historically in the last 10 years in college football. So I think that will be a good test for him to see if it looks cleaner against Iowa.
I think people will disagree, but I think Childs has progressed a lot in the last 2 weeks against 2 top 5 teams. I think he's starting to put things together and be better and not make if week 1 Childs comes out against Oregon this week, he probably throws 5 interceptions and fumbles 4 times and runs around and just chucks it up. So I think he's learning, and I think he'll be fine. It's no worries still on my Childs watch. None. 0.
Yeah, this one was just tough because of all the sacks. It was just I don't really know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
how many sacks did they end up having?
Probably, I don't know, 5, 6.
5, yeah, 6 tackles for loss.
But some of them he just threw away. That one he threw on the run 50 yards downfield and the dude dropped it.
Never a good sign when your leading tacklers on your team are your cornerback, safety.
Yeah, I mean, you're just running Detroit Lions style. They get running 7 yards before being touched. Grant, did you see this stat about Aiden Childs? Rankings among Big Ten QBs?
No.
He is first in average depth of target. Third with 8 big-time throws. Not sure what classifies as a big-time throw.
That seems made up.
But he does make some jaw-dropping NFL throws, so that makes sense. 9 drops, second most in the Big Ten. 10 20-plus yard completions, 5th in the Big Ten, and 23 10 to 20-yard completions, 5th in the Big Ten. So he's got pretty good stats stacking up with the rest of the Big Ten.
Surprised there's 4 other quarterbacks that have that many 20-yard completions.
He also has probably the most picks and most fumbles. So, yeah. Good with the bat.
Yeah, no doubt. He's going to have to go to the Jared Goff School of
Xavier Worthy touchdown.
Year. Yes.
Load another one up for the quesaritos.
Bye week, same with Michigan. Into the game, loss versus Washington. Finally caught up with them, 27-17. Big picture wise, this one hurt. This one, it still hurts worse as we get removed from it. I was drinking at
dude, you're always drinking.
Marissa's grad school friend. One of her friends had a surprise birthday party. It was his 30th birthday, so he was a Michigan fan. We were watching it there at the end. You're with other people, you're not really fully feeling the loss. Then you get home and damn it. And then days go by and God damn it. It just gets worse. You're watching the press conferences. You're seeing the reaction by people on Twitter. It's full on meltdown on the Michigan side. So you guys can savor that in.
I am.
I'm a optimist at heart, so I won't officially write off the playoffs yet. I know that there's a 0.5% chance of that happening.
Out.
Playoffs.
Well, that was something we were talking in the Michigan, the national championship.
You don't deserve to be in if you're 9-3 with the way you've played football.
I think you're right. I was talking to Cam that I would never think about 9-3, and I think he knows it's a long shot too. But it's way too early in the year to even focus on that. But
you hear that, Evan? We're still in.
Especially with the losses,
we're still in the playoff race.
Because, Alex, it's not really full 2007 yet, but last week was shades of 2007 with the number 1, number 4 team losing to unranked teams.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Michigan State magic number is 6.
The SEC is going to beat up on each other and whatnot, so it'd be only if Michigan beat Ohio State, which it seems impossible.
Good news for you, Grant. I have good news for you. You don't need to worry about the playoff because you're not winning 9 football games. Confidence.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying to keep people in line with my thoughts. I wrote off national championship after the Texas game. I haven't written off playoffs yet, but I know it's not going to happen, if that makes any sense.
Write it off then.
0.5%. No, I won't, because I want to give myself something to root for. But I'm taking it one game at a time.
I'm going to write this down just so I have it for next week.
The reason, though, it hurts.
Not writing off playoffs.
Well, can you write 0.5%?
No.
Less than 1% chance.
Yeah, I'll write that.
I mean, the Tigers made the playoffs and they're 1-1 in the ALDS, and I would have said 0.5.
Well, that's fair. Under
The reason
1% is what I say.
Yes. The reason it hurt so bad is because Michigan finally found a quarterback that looked just on a field remotely average. Has time to move, has time to make plays. He's 25. He's not going to just completely mess up instantaneously. Or if it's 3rd and 8, you have a chance to complete a first down. So that was promising. The crappy part about this loss that hurts even more is if they had just somehow found a way to win that game by even a point. You're 5-1 going into your bye week. You have time to regroup with him as your quarterback, and maybe you can, you have a little bit more wiggle room. But you lose that game because overall you still are a very flawed, not fundamentally sound team. And now you're staring down 4-2, and you do have a better quarterback at the helm, but it's too little, too late. And that's the worst part about this loss that really hurts. You don't want to lose into a bye week.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How is Jack Tuttle that much different than Davis Warren?
His decision making, going through routes,
Picking
his command.
Fumble.
Yeah. Let's start with this. How much did you watch of the game?
The entire thing.
Okay. If you didn't think that when he came in that
I
everything
thought the
looked
first
cleaner,
drive he looked better than Alex Orji. Yes. 100%.
and then the next 2 drives that led to points, he was moving. The fumble was there is a certain element of Jack Tuttle that is fair to say that he's still rusty. He just got in and he got thrown he got thrown in a tough spot. You're down 14-0 against a solid team on the road. You've been working through elbow problems the entire offseason that derailed you towards the end of last year, and he hasn't played that much college football as a starter ever. So it's still learning for him. He's just older and he makes better decisions. The fumble was, you got to have better security first of all, but also it was one of those it was a great play by a defensive lineman. It wasn't like it was flopping loose like Michael Vick. He punched through his arm, came out. It's going to happen, and the throw wasn't. It's just a tough throw for him to make, and I think that was one of the things where he just hasn't got enough live game reps yet to know that a guy's going to pick that off. But wasn't like he.
Sorry,
I was just saying it wasn't like he just missed a linebacker in coverage. He just thought he could lead him more to the sideline, and the guy jumped in.
Okay.
It wasn't the worst throw I've ever seen.
Feel free to disagree, but my theory is Tuttle comes in. Washington is by no means prepared for Jack Tuttle to play football, considering everyone thought Jack Tuttle was done for the year, is what you told me 2 weeks ago. So I'm sure he's not on the scouting report. When Alex Orji is playing, it's pretty simple. They're not going to be able to pass the ball, 10 in the box the whole time. Play man coverage, pretty easy to defend. Tuttle comes in. Then Washington has to start making adjustments on the fly on that drive for Jack Tuttle specifically, because they're oh wait, this guy has somewhat capability of throwing the football. So they're adjusting for a couple drives, and then they figure it out, and then Michigan doesn't do anything again the rest of the game at the end when it mattered, and then Washington wins. He throws a pick, fumble, whatever. So if a team has a week to prepare for Jack Tuttle, knowing what he is with the film he has from Indiana, wherever else, and his limited play at Michigan, their game plan defensively is probably going to be a lot different than if they're game planning for Alex Orji, who is the easiest player in the country to game plan for. I just think Jack Tuttle is not really that different than Davis Warren in the sense that other than he's older and maybe his decision making is better, but he was 7 of 14 and threw a pick. It's not like he was lighting it up with accuracy and doing some great job. I'm just confused how he's any better than Davis Warren and why Michigan fans dump on Davis Warren so much when Jack Tuttle is probably the exact same thing.
I don't see him as the exact same thing from watching Davis Warren the first couple of games. There were some just really horrendous things from Davis Warren and missing completely wide open receivers on top of turning the ball over. And I'm not trying to poo the kid, but if I'm talking,
no, he's not
objectively, Tuttle did, again, he made a bad interception throw at the end of the game trying to bring the team back. He did 100%. But also, again, he got no live game reps the entire fall camp. He was just sidelined trying to work back,
Which
throw a football.
Is fine, but when you give this kid, he's not a kid, when you give this grown man 2 full games of action, is he going to be like significantly better than whatever else you guys have had this year, or is it just going to be more of the same? Like maybe he's a little better, but he probably still is going to be turnover prone. That's what his career's been. That's what he was at Indiana in his limited starts.
But yeah, he might, and then we'll revisit it. But like from eyeballs on the game, he's a better quarterback than any person on Michigan's roster, and it was clear the instant he came into the game. It was just completely different than anything I've seen this year, and it looked like it closer to what it should look like.
I don't disagree. It's just my thought is like when defenses can game plan for him specifically, is he going to look worse?
But to the
do you think he's going to get better? Like what is he like? Who do you compare him to Michigan quarterback wise?
It's so early to tell. I've seen him play like a half of football.
Yeah,
but better than John O'Corn. So we'll start with that. I think he'd be close to like a Wilton Spate level player. Just like throw for 158 yards on 175 yards on less than 20 attempts. Just like again, limit turnovers is going to be the key to his success. But I think in terms of decision making, he's not going to make any like wow NFL throws at the boundary like he tried. Like he got one picked off. I think he'll learn from that and just take what the defense gives him, which is the biggest thing. Like not panicking and like running away and getting sacked like Davis Warren and like finding your check down to Mullins or Edwards. Just like moving through the offense. I think it looked like a 25-year-old how he would play college football.
I agree. I do think he's
sexy,
better than Davis Warren. I just don't think it's like a game changer for your team.
It just is because like you saw it with Orji. If you watched the first half,
I know Orji's terrible. You were never going to win games with him.
No, but that's the frustrating part with the team and the coaching staff, which is a bigger like they tried to get balanced. They tried to do the right thing and be a balanced team, but you can't with Alex Orji. You saw him throw the football into the defensive lineman's hands 3 times like in a row. It's like you see Tuttle come in and they complete a 15-yard dig route to a receiver, which they haven't done all year. Like, oh my God, that's what it's like to complete a 3rd and 8. You're like, holy shit. And again, like the reason I'm probably impressed by him is because it's such a low bar that it's been, but it just looked a lot better. And I think they can build off that. Again, the devastating part as a fan is like if they could just, then they came back and took the lead. If you could just figured out a way to win that game by even 1 point, then you're 5-1 recovering with him. Now you're 4-2 and all your room from there is gone.
Evan, can you give your thoughts on Jack Tuttle?
I think it fits perfectly with just look up the tweets for the Michigan fans as soon as he came in and then as soon as the end of the game.
What does that mean?
The offense looked better
that
with
roller
him
coaster of excitement to fall.
Is his stats wise prove that he's some game changing quarterback? No. He played 50%. I would argue it's not one of the top secondaries in the Big Ten. And you lost your first true road game of the year.
They do have to leave Ann Arbor sometimes, Evan.
Correct.
We found that out. I didn't know they were going to leave.
Must be tough. And Donovan Edwards is still getting too many handoffs.
Whoa, we had a touchdown.
Don't care.
Yeah. He had a better game, but I still like Mullins better.
But as a quarterback, are you looking at yourself like, okay, if I have a bad game, do I have to look over my shoulder because the next quarterback's just going to come in?
That would be my next question. Is Jack Tuttle like up for benching? Is he the starter? Did anybody confirm that?
And Washington should have had 6 more points on their team. Missed 2 field goals. Easy field goals.
Yeah, that kid sucks. No offense to that kid. He's terrible.
Kid. Yeah, I also want to take a moment to like, again, we always love to crap on our teams, which is fair, but like Washington, they weren't world beaters by any means, but I think we did undersell their wide receiver room. That Denzel Boston kid is sweet. Their running back was better than I thought. Will Rogers throws good balls. Giles Jackson made us look stupid. Like they played a good game for Washington, and they did impress me. So I would like to give a tip of the cap to them as well, which I again, like I said, I picked Michigan to win by a point because I was like, I'm going to keep riding it. But run your pool, I'm picking Washington to cover 3. Like, I just felt terrible about the game as we got closer. If I had known Jack Tuttle was starting from the jump, and that's maybe where I'm a crazy Michigan fan, I think they win that game if Jack Tuttle starts and you don't spot a team like that 14-0. It's like a bad hole to be in. And there's no subjective to that. Like,
because your defense wasn't playing that great. Like, you surprisingly, your defense was still giving up points, and I don't think you were going to just put up a bunch of points with Jack Tuttle.
No, but like it's just such a. And again, the defense is a legit problem. Our passing defense is like 100th in the country out of 134. Like they are playing really bad. They have multiple people. I think Zeke Berry had 7 catches on 9 targets given up against him. A few other guys like
I'm trying not to poo-poo on your defense, but they're the biggest that way. Because I feel like Michigan fans jump all over your throat when you say that Michigan's defense isn't good, because that's what I heard all offseason is that Michigan's defense is still legit top 10 in the country, no problem. They will have no problems. And now I'm watching them with problems, so I get a little hesitant to say anything.
I mean, the narrative this week is like a lot of people are already jumping ship on the entire staff and want Wink gone and blah, blah, blah.
I asked you that after the Texas game. I said, how much rope does Wink have? Is he a bad defensive coordinator?
And like, I'm not that overreactionary. Like, I will ride it out the entire year and let Sharon what he wants to do in the offseason. It's like, you also have to understand that when you're playing with Alex Orji and your drives are 3 to 5 plays the entire first half, your defense is going to be gassed no matter who they play. It's just like, unless you're like the 85 Bears or like last year's Michigan defense with Minter when they had McDonald, like maybe they can keep Washington to 24 to 20 points and they can pull these out. But like, it's asking a lot. Do I think the scheme is too complex and too intricate and they're messing it up? 100%. I do. I think the defensive line is sick. The front set, the linebackers aren't as good as last year. The secondary is way worse than last year. Shout out to Mike Sanders, still, you sexy beast. But they're just not as good. I like, that's part of it too. It's a lot of things going on, but the defense gets asked to do so much.
I do think they're just like an average defense. Like, I don't think they're like terrifying by any means. They have players that are terrifying, but as a defense as a whole, not scary.
But the biggest, like I looked at, the biggest thing about this team is just the quarterback. If you have JJ McCarthy, you're 5-1 at a minimum. Easy. You win this game.
Quarterback is everything in college.
It is. And it's like, that's when people are talking about the intricacies of this year. I'm trying to even throw, and again, people are mad at Kirk Campbell, the OC, rightfully so. But like, what the is he supposed to do? Evan, you're OC. Like, if you were a college football game, it's a miracle, honestly, they beat USC and Minnesota back-to-back weeks 27-24 with the way they played. Like, I don't know what he's supposed to call. That's why I'm a little bit excited he actually has something that can complete third and 8. It's like, it's hard to judge these people on their jobs. Wink's different because he has like 3 first-round picks staring on that defense. Okay, so for the secondary to be 100th in the country, that's a problem. But like, on the offensive side of the ball, it's like, the biggest thing you can get mad about the coaching staff goes back to the whole conversation was like, how did the quarterback situation get this bad? It becomes clear to me after watching this game, Tuttle was probably supposed to be the guy. He got hurt, obviously. And then I think they were just like, oh shit, like, what do we do? And so that tells me they started Warren. So basically Alex Orji was their third string quarterback, probably through all camp. Warren was second. Tuttle was supposed to be 1. And everyone will probably have their side of the story about why a quarterback wasn't acquired. And that's the biggest thing that's going to hurt. It's tough. And people do forget that, like, some people on the Michigan fan base are getting pissed off and being like, oh, you guys are idiots. Like, JJ was for sure going to leave like halfway through the year once he realized, like, it's like, I do not, I would go to bat that he probably did not make up his mind until after the national championship game before that ceremony, because he's like one of those woo-woo, he likes his meditation. Like, there was a big part of me that thought he would potentially return for his last year. After they won the Natty, I was pretty certain he would leave. But for people that are like, you had to prepare for that, there probably was a good contingent of Michigan's staff and organization that thought he was coming back for his one more year.
I think the staff should have known that he was going to leave if his dad was leaving, Jim, his other dad.
Again, also screws the team. And that's, Jim Harbaugh brought me a title, but also I can recognize
the way out.
Program. 100%.
Yes, he did.
No one probably knew what he was doing. That goes back to the AD relationship. I'm not going to blame anybody. They won a national championship. But, like, that's the hardest part of me. I'm trying not to get too into the weeds of all, like, the coaching staff on game day. When
Mark
it's like,
effed us on the way out, too. Same thing happened. So
they don't have a quarterback. They don't.
Did happen.
So that's the big picture stuff. It sucks. It's not fun. I hate it.
You think it's going to get worse? Who do we got next?
Bye week and then at Illinois.
Oh, it's going to get worse.
3:30 CBS.
You could win that because they're like the same as you.
You have a chance with Tuttle. You had no chance with Orgy because you wouldn't like run for 200 on them.
Ooh, it could get dark. It could get dark.
Penn State dominated Illinois, though.
Penn State's not that bad, Evan.
Penn State
Eventually, you're going to have to think they're good.
Penn State has their tight end taking snaps in the red zone. Idiotic.
they might have a dumb coach, Evan, but they're a good football.
You guys want to watch some Michigan passing insult stats?
Yes.
I have one question for you, though.
Yeah.
Michigan wins how many games right now? New projected Grant and Chute's win total.
They're 4-2.
6 games ago. Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan State, Illinois, Indiana. And someone else. Oof, that is a tough schedule. That is tough. Get dark. Could be 5-7. Nah, you got to beat the 6.
6 is at 6 though.
Oh my god, that's gonna be the biggest game in their program's history.
6 is so hard to predict at this moment because they haven't played anybody.
Depending where they're at, that will be the biggest game in their program's history. Because they're that shitty.
5, 6. I think they're going. I feel good about them going bowling.
6-6. Sure.
No, I'm going to stay slap happy. I'm going to stay 8-4.
I think both Michigan teams are more likely to go 6-6 than one of them go 8-4.
That's fair,
but could happen.
Illinois has got to be a game where your defense just responds and you hold them to 10 points, and you win 17-10, which I think is fully in the cards.
Mel Tucker beat a top 25 Illinois on the road.
If they beat Illinois, then 8-4 is definitely on. But if they lose, yeah.
That means you're going to beat Michigan State, Indiana,
Northwestern.
And Northwestern. You're comfortable? You think you're going to win all 3 of those?
You're going to beat Northwestern. I think every win the rest of the year for Michigan will probably be by a point.
I think you have one guaranteed win the rest of the way. I think Michigan State has one guaranteed win the rest of the way. And then
I don't think Michigan has a single guarantee. I don't think there's any guaranteed wins. I think they might earn 4 more.
I think Michigan State is going to smack Purdue, and I think Michigan is going to beat Northwestern.
Maybe.
Only 2 games I'm confident in.
Could get real deep
the rest of the year.
I'll get out in front of it now because people are already talking about it on the internet. You have to give at least Sharon another year. I'm not ready to just. I did say this in the Michigan chat. I said, assuming there's no more NCAA suspension shit. If that comes in, you use it as an excuse to fire because you didn't like what you saw this year. That's fine to me. But if we're just talking on field, I would like to give the guy a chance to recruit, see if he learns, bring in some transfers. I do think, there's some people that have fully written him off.
You got put in a bad spot.
They do play sloppy. They do dumb stuff that I don't like. But again, it's his first year as a coach. And he also was he doesn't have a lot of experience, so it's not going to be great. He could turn around. I don't know. Kalen DeBoer just lost to Vandy. I still love Kalen DeBoer. So it's
Kalen DeBoer has a win against Georgia. That helps.
Yeah. He also has a quarterback, a functioning one, and one of the best receivers in the country, and that goes into the insult stat. Michigan's leading receiver, wide receiver, not tight end. His season on pace is for 26 catches for 156 yards.
Oh.
To lead the team this season. He's on pace for that. He's not at that right now.
198 in one game.
He's on pace for that. If he does what he's currently done, he'll get there.
That's so bad.
Also, stat.
But Jack Tuttle, dude. We're good now.
Yeah, because look at Amorion Walker. Caught that first down I talked about.
Catch, yeah.
He's the only wide receiver in that game with a target beyond the line of scrimmage against Washington. Past the line of scrimmage, the only wide receiver, not tight end, with a target past the line of scrimmage. Tyler Morris and Samaj Morgan each had one target behind the line. The rest of the targets went to tight ends and running backs. You want to talk about Ron Bellamy? You want to talk about him? Sure, we can talk about him. You want to talk about the secondary coach, Lamar Morgan, that got hired late? We can talk about them. But there's some glaring holes that, like, everything's going to fall on. The defense didn't do enough. The quarterback is terrible. And they all are things. But, like, there's some serious rooms on this team that are playing atrocious football for a defending national championship team.
I mean, based on everything you keep saying, maybe the whole team sucks besides the 4 first-round picks. Is that just true? Maybe the team just sucks. Can we just say that?
You're getting me down like a dark rabbit hole, but there's also part of me too that I told you, I warned about, like, we're going to be that team that has, like, the flashy talent, but I don't, like, if the captains don't come. Max Bresson, he brings it. He brings it.
God, it's so weird to think that they were ranked number 10. I kind of forget that. When people keep saying, like, 6 teams in the top 10 lost, I always forget that Michigan was in the top 10.
Yeah.
Which deserving. They won the national title last year.
No, the Josh Pate dude I listened to, he runs his model about who would be favored on a neutral field, and they were outside of the top 25 before this game. He's like, yeah, they're not good. But AP, they keep them at 10 just because of the name. But, like, most people that ran models, that's why Washington was favored. They weren't favored for a fluke.
I could ask questions about this Michigan team all day. I could.
You can. It's dark. This is going to be probably the darkest show because they lose one more game and I'm just going to become aloof to them.
Well, because I guess, like I just said, like, are they just a shitty team? Like, what is the ceiling for this team and this collection of players? Like, I don't think it's very high.
Like I said, I think they can win 8. They can go 8-4. The Tuttle stuff does make it a little bit more intriguing because the bones of a good team in Iowa are there. But the problem was they just realized
how many points has this offense actually scored recently?
Well, they somehow get a lot.
27. Well, the one pick 6, but
pick 6. You have a block.
They've scored 30 points once this year, which is low for college football. It was against Fresno State in the opener.
I don't think we've scored 30 this year.
Oh, the offense specifically? Yeah, yes. I'd have to do some math, but
I just think back to my conversation with Evan in Tecumseh Tavern, and Evan basically said that this team stinks. And I was like, "Oh, Evan, your Spartan goggles are on." But now I'm starting to think halfway through this season that this Michigan team has some very, very talented, really, really good NFL level players, and the rest of the team does not play as a team, and they just kind of suck.
I think a lot of it has to do with the carousel at the QB position, which is the most important position in football. Having 3 different quarterbacks in 6 games. They can't find an identity because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Because, again, that's the biggest thing of this organization. If Sharon were to ever get fired, like if you wanted to do that, it'd be because you didn't get a quarterback. And I just don't think it's fair to do that because I think there were a lot of factors going in. I'm not going to make excuses anymore going forward for them because you saw it. Dave Portnoy's on line saying he'll pay $3 million a year if he can help find a quarterback. So, like, there's no excuses. You have the money. That's how bad it is. Like, you have, alumni being like, I will give whatever you guys need because this is like it is. Orji threw for 32 and 86 yards. Tuttle threw for 98 in a half of football. It's like, again, miracle they even won those 2 games. It's just like,
I can't believe they won those 2 games.
It's actually stunning looking. Like the more you look back at it,
straight Army wingback formation football. That's how they won.
But they don't even fully commit to it. That's the problem in the Washington game. Is that their first drive was balanced.
Oh yeah, they started with the ball. Well, I said if Michigan goes down to a team, they're going to lose if they don't. But yeah,
their opening drive, they want to be more balanced. It's like, no, you guys are idiots. Like you can't be balanced with Alex Orji. You can't. That's not playing to your strengths. With Tuttle, you can try to be a little bit, but you still shouldn't be. You should still be giving Mullins 25 carries a game, which to Evan's point, they continue not to do.
Because the coaching staff's bad.
But again, they're still trying to figure themselves out because he's probably got 3,000 thoughts in his head about like, oh, is Tuttle good or we're down 14-0? Like we got to roll with Tuttle. Now we're game playing around Tuttle. It's like just a mess. It's a mess.
So Sharon can go 5-7, and you're bringing him back.
Yeah, I would do. Yes, they would have to go.
Michigan's going to be for the Super Bowl this year.
They would have to lose out. They have to go games. They go 4 games. Dude, Jim Harbaugh almost lost to Rutgers in the COVID year.
And you guys tried to run him out.
Correct. Yeah, when it gets bad, I will be the first one to say, yeah, I think the dude's got to go.
It feels like it's getting bad.
Matt can't.
It's only 2 losses, but it feels like it's getting bad because it's been bad.
The Matt Campbell, it's a crazy reliving it because now you're seeing the same gifts you used to see during the Hardball, like the soup gifts or
and
back
he's 5-0
soup gifts, and he's about to be a top 10 team in the country. He's a good football coach. I don't care what anyone says about him. Iowa State is not easy to win football games at, and he has him about to be top 10.
They're 11 right now, right?
Yeah, it's dark, Alex. I'm not, but you're the proponent. You should align with me. Our society, I need winning right now. Again, I know they won the title last year, but we can all agree this is not a reload title team.
There's
some talent was, but you don't have a quarterback. Which
there's reasons to get upset though, and those reasons are are you building towards something? Is there progress being made? Michigan doesn't feel like there's progress being made because you're going to lose a bunch of good players for one. You have a QB of the future who's not playing for whatever reason, which is a little concerning.
Red shirt.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah, well,
the parents are making the decisions for kids.
Do you want him to transfer away if he's got talent? That's just the society.
If you got $3 million to get to someone else, yes. See you later.
True. If that could change the game. I'm expecting the big transfer portal quarterback from Portland. Please.
There's signs of the team that need to be okay for you to feel good going forward. Are we not heavily penalized team? Are we doing the right things? We're just coming up short. Is it just a talent issue? Blah, blah, blah. Sounds like it's not a talent issue besides one position, which, yes, the most important position.
Most important position.
But most important position.
I don't know. It feels like you should be getting better results. You shouldn't have one of the most laughable quarterback offenses, passing offenses in college football as the defending national champion. That should not happen.
Correct. And I think hopefully going forward, they've learned that.
For fans upset, I would be upset that you went from, a national championship to a full-on Ivy League offense.
Correct. And that's the biggest annoyance of the season when you look back is you wasted first round NFL talent, which you didn't even have. You had them as sophomores last year. But last year's team was second round through fifth round guys that were just awesome humans and they were gritty as hell. And that's the biggest thing that's alarming the last 4 games, even going back to Arkansas State. This team's finishing ability is so bad. The fourth quarter and back half of the third, they are just atrocious and they let the team back in the game. Whereas last year, the Joel Klatt bowl constrictor graphic, Gus, they just wrap around your neck and they suffocate you. That was Michigan football during those 3 years. They got you to the end of the third and fourth, and then they took over the game.
Coaching, leadership.
Completely gone.
Things you want to see with a new coach. You're not seeing.
And competent QB play. You look back, they showed that graphic. It was alarming. JJ McCarthy led the country last year and third and longs that he converted from throwing the football. It was him and Quinn Ewers. And that's just you go from that was your offense, which he was kind of putting some Band-Aids on some bad situations because he's an NFL quarterback. And you go to Davis Warren and Alex Orji immediately. And it's maybe your offense can't move the football because you can't get third JJ McCarthy because you can't convert that with them.
I was going to ask one question, but I think the answer is obvious just because of the brand. So it's not worth asking. But
what is it?
What program in the state would you rather have going forward into the future? I think both have arguments.
Sure. Again, I'm just thinking about things I'm mad at. I talked myself into the Wink hire when it happened because, they had to hire someone because their whole staff got poached. But I would have liked them to stay on the young, unproven guy trajectory they were doing, which I wanted that linebackers coach from the Ravens instead. But just are they just doing him a favor because he's Harbaugh's buddy and he needed a job after the Giants? It's you look back on all these things once you start going 4-2 and your team gives up 260 passing yards every game. You're just could have done things differently. But again, that's where you have to give. That's why I'm not firing Sharon after 1 year. I want to see what he does. Does he sack up and does he make tough changes, or does he just keep rolling people over, not addressing the concerns? They're recruiting fine. They're top 15 in the country. They've never been a top 5 team except for a couple years under Harbaugh. So it's not. I'm not worried about that stuff. It's just you want to get crazy dark. Think about all the talent on this team that they're also losing to the draft next year. And you could get real dark next year if they don't overhaul the roster with either guys in the pipeline or actually attacking transfer targets. could get real dark last year because anyone that contributes anything is going to the NFL this year.
He's frozen.
Alex, can you see me, Evan?
I can see you. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he disconnected. I thought he really was just thinking. I thought he was just sitting there thinking. I guess we should just close it out without him.
Wait. Do you have that button or what?
No, he's back. When did you cut out?
Right after the
again.
No, I was thinking right after the thinking about what coaches Sharon should have had. Not getting rid of Sharon recruiting is okay. Somewhere around there.
Well, it could get really dark next year, Alex.
Oh yeah, you missed the. It could get really dark next year.
Why?
Because anyone that is like producing on this team is also going to the NFL.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you guys are going to hammer the transfer portal after your fans throw riots in the city of Ann Arbor when you go 5-7.
Well, yeah, that would be the interesting thing. Like, do they lean fully into transfer, which they have not done so far?
Still probably have admissions issues, honestly.
You can turn over a roster in today's society, so I'm not going to get too doomsday, but I can't help myself but think about next year when I think about the defensive line keeps us in all these games. They're all gone, and it's like, what's happening next year?
Oh, I'll tell you what's happening next year. Michigan State takes the next jump.
And then we'll get to do a coaching search, and then that'll be fun because I enjoy those.
Those are fun.
No, they're
and then
not.
We'll look back and be like, wow, what if Michigan did do a national search and didn't just like give the guy the job? But again, he beat Ohio State, so again, it's such a messy web right now that I have to remind myself of the full picture.
Hey, at least you won the national championship. You might have
You're
won
in a business. You're not in a friendship. You don't give you guys the keys to a car just because you did one nice favor.
You won a national championship for 10 years of suck.
Yeah, I will at some point be watching the Michigan-Washington highlights over the bye week. I didn't watch it that night. It was too late by the time I got home, but I was just like, man, I would just love to watch Mike Sanders still pick off Michael Penix one more time.
10 years of suck coming your way.
Now, if you in college football, especially after they won a national championship, and more people care about the program now, like because during Rich Rod and Hope, they were like they bottomed out and people didn't even care about the program. People are actually like really pissed off, calling for a coach to be fired after a second loss as a full-time head coach. So you would get rid of them, and you'd be bad for like 2 years, and then you bring in a guy, and then you probably get a good name because the brand. So
dude, there's a chance Michigan
he's auditioning for the Michigan
out.
job right now. There is.
Michigan go 4-8.
Anyone can lose anyone in college football this year. It's that type of year. How, like, you guys are sickos and want them to lose every game, but, like, what record really makes you still giddy without going, like, with somewhat realism?
5-7.
6-6. Anything less than 7-5?
Yeah, 6-6.
Less than 7. All right, so Michigan's playing for 7-5 to keep.
Well, I predicted 7-5, so if it hits 7-5, I'll just say I told you so.
That would be huge.
I mean, I'm already feeling pretty good that they suck.
I'm praying that they go 7-5.
If they beat Ohio State or Oregon, I will then be upset.
If you had given me any sort of glimpse in the quarterback room, again, besides the spring game, because like, what do you really learn from those? I would have changed my predictions. I would not. I said 8-4 for a while, and I talked myself into 10-2. Dumb idiot. Which they could still do if they went out.
Well,
all right. That's it. That's the bearing of Michigan. Again, I know it's long-winded, but if they lose again, you're not getting that. You're just getting.
You're not going to be excited about beating Michigan State because that's going to turn into all you have left this year.
No, I will not. I have not. I don't think I ever really was that fan during those years. It's all suck. I want to play for the top as I watch Ohio State and Oregon parade around, dance above me. Penn State now too, gross. And I just sit down here and I long for those days. And I go back to the highlights of the last 3 years.
Well, I'm praying that Michigan State beats Michigan this year. That's all we got. Just kidding.
Should be a good
We're
game.
going 9-3.
Games at Michigan.
9-3 for the boys and a playoff berth. The 11th seed. Michigan State Spartans.
If Michigan's the home team, is that spread like Michigan by 1.5 right now? Basically a pick 'em, but just a little edge for home field.
Pick 'em. Feels like a pick 'em. No matter what.
I don't think Vegas would put it at that.
I think Michigan would be like 6 at home.
I'm curious what we'll do with that. I guess we have weeks to go.
Evan?
All right.
Yeah.
What would your spread be for Michigan State right now at Michigan?
Michigan minus 4.5.
I think that's fair.
the Vegas zone where they don't know what to do with
the
it.
brand.
And then your prediction for that game would be Michigan State by 25.
Michigan State's winning the football game.
You're that confident. Right now, on October 7th, Michigan State is winning that football game.
Offense is better than their offense.
Don't give them bulletin board material, Evan.
Jonathan Smith's going to go up to Schroeder and go, cram up your cram hole on the floor.
Jonathan Smith might be too nice. He just shows no emotion for that guy, though. Happy he's my coach.
All right. To 185.
Cheers.
Cheers. Detroit Red Wings starting hockey this week.
Huge.